What's up, everybody?
Hello.
We're back. We're back to talk about Buffy. Buffy the
Yep.
Vampire Slayer.
Season 2.
Season 2.
First
Eh,
half.
First half. First
And
half? Little less than first half? Let's see.
it's kind of
It's
because
first half.
you get your mid-season finale, so
Yeah, a damn good one.
I mean it's kind of an interesting little thing they're doing, isn't it? Because it's kind of like you haven't gotten that before. You're like, oh, this is a big event, and then it's not even over for the season yet.
No, not really. And then, yeah, we'll get to it. A lot of lore is set up in these first, in a few of these first 10 episodes.
I mean, season 2 compared to 1, it's just they're fixing everything up. They're getting better. They know what they're doing now. They've had more time, and there's just a couple of decisions that get made, and there's even some lines that are very meta, specifically in School Hard, I'd say, about what they're going to be doing with the show now because they've had some time to think about it, seen the results.
They did. Now, ratings wise, it's not like this thing was a juggernaut all the time, but it was good enough for the network it was on, and it had good word of mouth. Wasn't, like, relatively speaking, super expensive compared to other shows at the time. It's contemporaries at the time. And, a word of mouth thing back then meant a lot more. I don't want to call it a cult classic because there was a lot of people watching Buffy.
Oh, it was pretty well known at its peak.
Yeah, it's a very well known show. But yeah, it was never going to be like in the top 5 of all the networks and ratings, but it did very well for itself.
I think it wasn't season 3 its peak of ratings. That was like the season 3 is often considered like they've nailed the early years, and it's a very like when people say like when does the show get good in the sense of maybe getting hooked or for lack of a better way of putting it, like bingeable. And I always say it's 3 is the one where everything gets really easy to watch because it's just a really good TV show at that point.
Yeah, season 3 was the peak for Buffy the Vampire Slayer in terms of viewership and commercial success. The high ratings were driven by the cast's breakout roles in other films, while 6 had strong female viewership, and season 2 had the most single watched episode, Innocence. Season 3 remains the most popular and consistent in terms of total audience size.
And it's a pretty consistent season. You get almost the same quality every episode for the whole thing.
An average of 5.3 million viewers. Anne had 7 million, Helpless 7 million, Graduation Day 6.53 million.
There's a note I can see here that says the introduction of Spike in season 2 provided a massive boost in fan engagement, especially in the UK and Australia. It's fun, which I suppose we'll be talking about.
This show was very popular in the UK. Very, very popular in the UK.
Well, it was like I told you, I think on the previous one we did, but especially in a British household, blown away by the British characters being so accurate. Giles, Spike, Wesley, they were all like so much fun to watch because there's loads of stuff they did and said that aren't guided for an American viewer and are kind of confusing sometimes. Certain words they say or certain things they comment on, which is really fucking awesome.
It is. Listen, I was surprised to learn that only one of them was British.
And I think, if I remember correctly, it's like he lived with Alexis Denisof for a while, and he's the one that suggested him for the role of Wesley and helped him do his accent, which is why it's so good, I think. Like they're friends sort of thing. So, hey.
Wonder what
got Anthony Head to thanks for a lot of the British stuff, I think, in the show.
What is Anthony Stewart Head doing these days?
He's in a lot of random stuff that I just don't happen to see, unfortunately. He deserved a more A-list career. He was in that Margaret Thatcher like biopic with Meryl Streep, I think, was one of the bigger things that he ended up in.
There's a Buffyverse story. He was in the Slayers one.
Wait, he was in the second Ghost Rider?
Yeah. Was
I
he?
haven't seen that. I know you've seen it. I haven't seen it though.
Wait a minute.
He was Benedict.
Ah,
Is that like a voice role or is it?
hang on. I'm still in the 2020s. When did Spirit of Hedges come out? Yeah, there it is. Benedict, 2011. 2011. And he did a bunch of voice work.
He does have quite the voice.
He did the Rocky Horror Show Live as the narrator. Batman Gotham by Gaslight, he played Alfred. Yeah, but like Bridgerton. He's in Bridgerton. Thank God.
He deserved I think more Doctor Who roles as well, because the one role he did it well. The
he did.
The bat creature things in the Tenant season, right?
Mm-hmm. And I actually like that episode.
No, yeah, I like it too. I mean, he's an
back.
obvious pick for being good as the Doctor as well, but obviously not
they
anymore.
Floated him around a lot.
Makes sense.
It did. Cool. Too much sense. They don't like things that make sense.
No,
they don't.
Not anymore.
They don't. I mean, I could just rant to you about Daredevil for the next 2 hours, but we're here to talk about Buffy.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. I've seen it too. We gotta refocus because we're not even able to be here for as long as
normal.
So.
Yeah. So let's start out with that. Okay. First episode back, when she was bad, sets the tone, I think, for all of the rest of Buffy. Maybe I'm being a bit hyperbolic, but it went from, it's not like the first season wasn't serious at times, but it was Monster of the Week. We got, the Master. And the following season, they spend the entire first episode dealing with the repercussions of season one, right? Not just like, oh boy, that was a crazy time last year,
No, and it's almost more. It already is more serious than season one even played it being. Season two to me is like the connecting season that brings one to the rest, because one is like a artifact in a lot of ways, and it's a result of what we talked about, right? It's like it's a quick replacement. They're not even sure what they're doing exactly. The bad guys, which season two still has loads of season one DNA, which is kind of fun. Like the horror icons, like gothic horror icons, it was like the Hammer ones of season one covers, like in a broad sense, we need a major vampire. I was going to say Dracula, but the Master is like this stand-in until we actually get Dracula.
Yep.
It's like, so where's Frankenstein? It's like, don't worry, season two's got you on that one. You're like, okay, what about the Wolfman? It's like, again, season two.
Mm-hmm.
The Mummy is like, again, season two actually does that as well. And it's like, Creature from the Black Lagoon is like season two again.
Mm-hmm.
But you get, like the Devil Kid. So that's season one. You get, I guess the witch in terms of like a general witch character is like, we're trying to go with that. I don't know why I'm like blanking right now. There's others. Oh, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is also season 3, I think, actually they do that. So I talk about it with people all the time, but I love the clear transition of being like, we got to do all of them, we got to do them, over to wait, we should probably just do our own shit. And the best sort of representation of that to me is The Gentleman, where they're like, let's just do our own shit.
Yep.
Because I enjoy all of the attempts, but a lot of the ones I just listed aren't great.
No, that's Mummy and Frankenstein, 2 of the worst episodes for sure.
I think the Frankenstein one is way worse, IMO, than the Mummy one. The Mummy one to me is just like, meh, it's fine. There's stuff in it, but it's not super interesting to me. But the Frankenstein one, we'll get there. Holy shit. It was almost worse on a rewatch.
It's really bad.
For a very specific reason.
For extremely specific reasons. So Buffy was gone all summer. She's distant, and apparently she's having nightmares. She's unsettled with dying, and
some repercussions and taken very seriously. But simultaneously, you'll notice like everything just kind of looks a little bit better. The first kill she gets on a vampire, the effects are better, and it's like, oh my goodness, the budget, it's increased. And the way they use lighting throughout this episode, I mean, it's not like season 1 was void of this, but I just, there's so many things when you move from season to season in Buffy and Angel, to be fair, where you're just like, oh shit, everything's bumped up. Because season 3 obviously is a huge bump from season 2, especially Anne. The opening episode of season 3 is, that's when the show is like, okay, we've arrived. It knows what it's doing now.
Yeah, and well, with this one, it's hard to tell from what I'm watching it on because the quality is so shitty. But I still like break out my DVDs, right, for my Buffy set, and it's all right, you know. But it's kind of tough. It's a little rough when it's going through a 4K projector. You know, it's not like watching it on a CRTV, but you can still see it, the changes. So Buffy comes back changed. She's angry. She's difficult. The master's bones have been buried, and it was ritualistic. Giles and the team had to wear robes and everything to go do that and put him in the ground. And she is concerned about him coming back. She has even like later on a nightmare of being choked by Giles, and then his face is revealed as the master. And but the thing is, though, this is a good episode, but it's a bummer episode because Buffy's so angry the whole time, and this is like what you're opening with. So that's kind of a bold choice, really.
Yeah, a bit risky, but also it's like a statement of there will be consequences for events, which again, it's kind of like you said, it just feels like a statement on the show. Characters rarely ever return to their neutral state after major things happen. And this would be an example. This is kind of like, this feels to me somewhat like a we didn't get to do this at the end of season 1 because it ended, but this is a thing, this happened, this is important. And they do a little foundation of like the Willow Xander stuff, right? That wasn't really solved or concluded. So this episode sort of opens with like, hey, that's still stuff going on there. We're still working with that, because they do a season 1, 2, 3 storyline for that, which does get some good stuff out of it. Like once they've both found someone else and then they screw it up.
Oh yeah,
teenager style.
Yep. Oh yeah, I will get there. I forgot, like Oz just randomly shows up. It's like, oh, there he is. Look at that.
Like his dialogue is kind of better than everyone's. He I don't know what it is whenever they're writing for him, but he has like very few lines and they're always interesting.
Maybe Seth Green just ad-libs them. It's a very popular actor. I'll never forget. I sold him toys. I sold him Doctor Who toys at my booth at Comic-Con. And he was really stoned. And then he bummed a cigarette off me, which was fine.
Well, it's funny because I knew him from the Austin Powers movies as well. And then I was like annoyed that he leaves Buffy at a certain point. And then I was like, oh, it's to do Austin Powers. Okay, fair enough. That's like, fine. If you got to pursue your big Hollywood career, I suppose.
He's in the early X-Files episode too.
It is funny whenever you watch TV of any era, you're like, oh, I know they were in that and that and that and that and that. It's like, yeah, TV actors, they get around.
Yeah, especially him back then. Well, he was like 90s kid. He was the ultimate 90s kid. Little Gen X kid.
On the sort of quality lines, another person that gets away with this is Snyder, as far as I'm concerned. Doesn't speak much, but whenever he does, it's really fucking funny.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know as well, it's Armin Shimmerman was like stretched thin doing this and Deep Space Nine just back to back?
I bet.
Well, it was like a thing that sometimes he couldn't sleep. He would have to go, but like he chose to. And I think he has a quote saying like, when you've got this on the table as an offer, you take it. Like you do everything you can to sort of maintain it. So it's just neat to know that he was working his ass off to get this done and that done back to back to back to back to back. Because he's really good at this. I like him.
Yeah, he is. And well, he probably understands this work comes along never.
Yeah.
So if you have the opportunity, you lose a little sleep.
It's when he's talking about the school, he's like, one day it's bear, and then the next day children, like locusts, bent on feeding, mating, destroying everything in sight with their pointless desire to exist. And Giles is just like, it's a curious vocation you've chosen.
You think about something else. Somebody's got to watch them.
Yeah.
So the Master's skeleton has disappeared, and we still have the Anointed One is still around.
So I guess we should probably save that for School Hard. That's where the important conversation happens. But if you liked season 1, there's a few people who really like season 1. I kind of like it, just flaws and all. You still conclude like, what the fuck was the point of that? And you're like, I guess hopefully season 2 could fix up the Anointed One, and the writers sort of look at you like, yeah, we've got plans.
We have a solution.
We have a solution.
So there's a bunch of vampires, and they want to do a ritual to bring back the Master, essentially.
Yes, and Buffy, as you've mentioned, just kind of she's acting weird, kind of an asshole to everybody. Just shorter and curter in conversation, and even in training, she's kind of unhinged. She's destroying her equipment, which is one of the most common things you see her doing, and Angel in this show, because it shows they're not quite themselves. Like I said, it translates to Cap in Avengers, where he punches his punching bag too hard. Because that's what you do when you're not feeling right.
When you're not feeling right, you punch it too hard and knock it off. She starts a fight with Angel. She starts a fight with all the Scoobies.
If we can, just a scene beginning with she wakes up in the middle of the night and Angel's just watching her in her room. And then he's like, why are you so mad at me? It's like, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird, bro.
You're kind of watching me sleep now?
Yeah. Need to put a lock on the window, but
maybe.
I think generally as well, because the dialogue is solid season 1 in terms of potential. Season 2, I think it's the skill floor sort of raises again. Just everybody's lines are typically pretty entertaining, even though the show is still working its way through. Like Cordelia, I think, spots them. She goes, well, if it isn't the Three Musketeers, and they pause for a bit. They're just like, the Three Musketeers were cool. Like, and she's like, okay.
The Cordelia stuff early on is actually pretty good. It's pretty funny.
It's hard not to like her because they make her an asshole, but they keep showing pieces of humanity, which makes you just like, I don't know. I mean, she's kind of cool, actually. And she's the one that calls Buffy out in this episode more so than anyone else.
Yeah, she does. So Buffy's being an asshole to everybody. Giles and the Scoobies wants to start a fight with Angel at some point. And yeah, it's Cordelia who walks up and goes, whatever you're going through, get over it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose what loser friends you have.
It's, I don't know. To me, it's just good DNA for the character. When they show, I think, 3 different times Buffy being an asshole to somebody, and they show a reaction from Cordelia. Like, she's just picking it up. And you wouldn't have thought she'd be the one to do anything about it necessarily, but she does actually seem to care. And it's one of those things, right, where it's like, hey, I'm the one who gets to torture people, not you. Stop. It's mean.
Yep. Right. And then right after that, she gets nicked.
Mm-hmm.
She gets taken by the vamps.
Buffy must have been off her game, because you'd think she would have heard all that scuffle.
Maybe she did and didn't care. We don't know. Oof. But she got taken. And then eventually it turns into a trap. Eventually. And they throw a rock through a window at the library. And it basically says it's trap. No, it doesn't basically. It says it's trap. And Buffy's still on her trip. So she's like, I don't want anybody's help. I'm just going to go do it by myself. Because I'm a miserable teenager.
Well, Buffy isolating is really common throughout the entire series. They do kind of a good job with that. They make sure it's a part of her character. It also plays into the Slayer aspect, and they play with it a bunch of times in different dimensions to keep you guessing. One of my favorite iterations, obviously, is a certain someone in this season is going to take advantage of knowing that that's what she does.
Mm-hmm.
When we get there, more so finale stuff, that is.
Yes, it is. Somebody might know a thing or two about her.
when there's a part where Giles is talking about her problems and how difficult it is to deal with it and everything, and he's got his back facing to her when she walks up, and Xander's like, "That's a really good point about trout." And he goes, "What?" And he turns around and he goes, "Oh yes, yes, trout, yes, yes." And he struggles for ages, and he goes, "It's a fish. Good morning." Like, that's all, like he thinks about it for ages. All he can say is, "It's fish." Is they do that a couple of times with like people behind you sort of shit. I think that happens in the Ted episode as well. But yeah, just lines and interactions that are still, because you need funny shit to keep you going throughout all of the other stuff, because these are 40-minute episodes plus, so you gotta have dialogue that entertains and develops until you get the fight scenes, the big scary monsters doing whatever. It's a TV show. Who'd have thunk it?
It's a TV show of the likes they don't make anymore, because they don't waste, particularly in the good episodes, they do not waste a lot of time. It's kind of, even with this one and later on with Halloween, you're like, man, the plot of the episode takes a while to get going. Takes a minute to get going. Now you're still entertained, you're still ingrained, but the premise, I'll say, the premise kicks in later than you would think. Nowadays they'd kick in the premise immediately and then fill in a bunch of characters and feelings and crying. This one, they built it up through the episode, and Buffy doesn't really turn it around until when it's almost too late.
It doesn't even feel like a full victory, the episode. They treat it kind of
not at all.
a bit of a rough one. And I would say that season 2 starts to show the potential compared to season 1. Doesn't really have an episode where I go like, "Oh, what a fantastic idea." It's more so just like, yeah, these are all,
it's neat.
Yeah. It's like, season 2 has a couple of episodes where you're like, "Oh, that was a good idea," and that was executed really well.
We're gonna get. I just talked about it. There's an episode where it's like, that was fucking good. That was brilliant. That is top 5 episodes of the series. That was really good.
That's what I mean, like locking themselves into, it's a vampire, it's the summoning of, the son of the devil, or it's the mummy, or the Black Lagoon stuff. It's like, instead you got to expand out to, as I said, like, what if everybody lost their voices because demons that harvest your hearts come into town? Sort of, it's just like, oh, okay, this is different. What is that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I just feel like whenever they expand to that degree, like they do in I say this ironically though, because School Hard is just vampires, but we'll talk about why that's different and special. Another part why this series gets better as it goes along. But yes, there's an analysis that I love about Buffy and Angel as a whole, and I think we've talked to you about it before. But if Buffy is the center, then she has, so to speak, and I don't mean this derogatorily, but orbiters, as in like supporting characters, being Giles, Willow, Xander, and then expands as it goes along. But those three, which I think Restless lays this out almost explicitly, and the season 4 sort of finales, that they represent the 3 significant characteristics for her, which is heart, mind, and spirit, and that all of their dialogue matches those sorts of aspects. That's how they react to situations, and that's a lot of the time what their problems relate to. So a lot of the time in these scenarios, I'm always like impressed with their responses to situations, and which one will come through depending on the problem. And like why Xander usually comes through first if the problem is courage. Giles will always be the one that comes through on any like logical problem, and then Willow is always the one that's got like the passionate response to different situations. And as we talked about before, she's like Buffy's backup battery in a lot of ways, being her spirit. I think it was an extremely good choice, because it probably allows you to sort of speed into getting dialogue done that is in character, as in Buffy's dealing with a particular problem. What would the heart say about the situation? Simultaneously, what would its blind spot be? And that applies to each aspect. And then you can draw them into the characters, and it sort of streamlines everything. Really, really good choice. One that would be hard not to copy if ever I had to make a TV show, because I feel like, oh man, this is really useful.
It is. This is and this is why Xander, underappreciated character, we'll just say.
We will highlight every time he puts his life on the line for someone, and then remind everyone that the Buffy fandom seem to hate him, which is absurd.
Yeah.
Because I think Buffy's like a dick to Willow in one of these parts of this episode, and he backs Willow up.
Mhm.
He says like back off sort of thing.
Yeah. He's all, that's enough. And that's just a quick sign of what's to come with him. So yeah, she's treating everybody terribly. And because she decided to go out alone, she fell into a trap that the priest vampire was drawing her into, and it was to trap the last people who were around the master when he died, which was Miss Calendar,
Giles, Cordelia, Willows, and no, Xander not.
Xander was not. That's why he was left behind.
Yeah.
To tell Buffy. And the trap was for them. So the vampires need to use their bodies and I guess blood to revive the master, and they're hanging upside down. And freaking Xander gets like really mad at her, as a matter of fact. And he says, if anything happens to Willow, I'll kill you.
Which is, I don't know. I just kind of love that line in the sense of they both know he can't do that.
No,
but he said it anyway. Because it's a result of her deciding what's best, gets everybody in trouble when they advised against it, and pissed him off. And it's true. And obviously she's feeling like shit as well because she kind of got tricked. Do you remember when she's with Angel as well? She says, I think she calls him a vampire, and he's like sad about it. She says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Undead American." Is that more appropriate?
Is that the political correct term? Yes. Undead American. That's pretty funny.
And we start to get more of the Angel that at least I'm more familiar with, right? Like when he's in the room, he like does a little bit of investigating. He's like, "There's the bait. Where's the hook?
Where's the hook?"
I remember thinking to myself, I was like, here he is. He's coming. Like we get more and more of Angel. Because of course, the thing about him being in Buffy is that he is her boyfriend, which hampers him compared to his own show.
He's hamstrung. Like they always have to find a way to take him out so he's not saving her or in the battle when maybe sometimes he should be. So he's either getting knocked out, thrown into a cage, or fighting somebody bigger. They have him come in later, but he was relegated to just boyfriend in first season.
I think this is one of the only times we see Buffy torturing a vampire.
Oh yeah, so
mouth. I was like, "Oh, that's creative, isn't it?"
Yeah, so she doesn't know where Giles and Miss Calendar and the others are. So yeah, she captures a vampire and she takes the cross off her neck and sticks it in her mouth, and it's like, we can do this. I'm not going to kill you right away, kind of thing. And kind of surprised she doesn't do that more.
It's because she's a bit darker in this episode, which is a bit more interesting as this. And you compare, if you remember the Wish episode in season 3, not going to spoil anything, but you see another version of Buffy and Faith, again, without spoiling anything, I always figured was supposed to represent an alternate version of Buffy that relates solely to support system, right? In this episode, she's kind of like abandoning her support system, or she hasn't had it over the summer. It makes her a lot more selfish, a lot more reckless, and a lot more what you might assume from the show, Slayer-like. That's what they end up like when they don't have people around them, sort of bring them down to balance them, to help them. And I think it's cool that they stuck to that throughout basically the whole show. Whenever she's on her own, she's much worse off.
Oh yeah. And that's what makes her different from the other Slayers. Something we'll get to in School Hard.
Yes.
Because that gets specifically brought up.
But yeah, you get your standard action sequence. She kills a lot of the vampires. That one dude, like the boss of them, appreciate his enthusiasm.
Yeah.
He was really going for it. Yeah.
He was there. He did his job. He loved his job.
Yeah, and to me, it's just like they're still working out. They have like tiers of vampires. The ones that are just like, I'm gonna kill you, Buffy, rawr, versus someone we're getting in School Hard, and then some people in between, where it's like, that guy is like, he's got a bit of character. He's a bit of a psycho, and then he's dead. Okay, well, there we go.
He was neat though while he lasted.
The Anointed escaped. Off he ran.
Yeah, so Buffy, the Anointed escape. Buffy comes in. See, this is one of those things. Angel goes to save, Giles and everybody else. So he and Xander are saving Willow and stuff. And Buffy's fighting, and she needs to work it out. So, and Xander points that out immediately. Xander's the first person to point out like she's working through some issues.
Again, the heart, he knows because he gets that aspect. It's like a buff that he gets on that front. But no, I thought that scene was really good, and I think it's already her breaking all the bones and being like very vulnerable for a second in front of everybody just for what the Master did, which I think even helps give the Master a bit more impact compared to season 1. Yeah, it's a bit silly that it's like you see that and you're like, yeah, no, it mattered. And it's sort of like them saying we're not just moving on to making a better show. Season 1 is foundationally our history, and we're going to be using it, which they do.
They do, and they just expand on it, and they do a great job, by the way. So she busts up all the bones, and they all leave, and the Anointed One comes in and goes, I hate that girl.
Yes, and we're soon to see what their plans are with the Anointed. They're going to fix him right up.
Oh, yeah. So then we have an episode that we're probably going to spend a lot of time on. MauLer specifically even said, you should probably skip this one, to save time. I'm like, fuck it. I'll watch it anyway. And it's terrible.
By the way, just on the end
of a lot of reasons,
that first episode, I think the final message from Giles is like, it's hardly the worst mistake you'll ever make.
Oh, I know. And he's all, that didn't sound right. And she's like, you get points for effort.
Points for effort. But yes, some assembly required. So the idea is some friends lose a friend in an accident, I think, and they bring him back to life with some other bits and bobs. He's their personal Frankenstein, and then we run right into Bride of Frankenstein, where he needs a girl. He's alone, and so if they start piecing together the bodies of dead girls from recently dead girls from cemetery until they decide they need to start maybe getting some fresh kills themselves, and that involves Cordelia potentially, and they save the day eventually. We can get into that in a second. My major issue with this episode is the attempt to insist that I feel bad for Frankenstein. Just like, no.
For one, this is the most on the nose jocks bad fucking episode of the whole thing, right? And okay, make him bad. But they tried to make it tragic, and the mistake was, well, for one, he never seems tragic.
No.
He doesn't sound like he was that nice of a guy when he was alive.
No.
Right? So it didn't sell the little brother.
No.
Making him because he looked out for his little brother. None of that was sold whatsoever. They all look like just fucking weirdos. And that's where it falls apart, because you have to feel sympathy for the little brother who's trying to revive his big brother, because his big brother always looked out for him, but his big brother was just this meathead. It's like,
and they play the music like every time, and it'll be like, here we are carving up some innocent women. Oh man, isn't it sad that he has to find someone, otherwise he's alone? I'm just like, are you serious right now?
You're carving up women. Now there were dead women, but the whole thought of jumping, that's still bad. Okay, that doesn't make it okay.
No,
it's like, oh, it's cool if you're dead. They figured this out early on. Buffy and Angel are having a talk, and then she's like, you can't walk away from me, that, because Angel's like, enough, and he walks away, and this is the funny part, where she falls into an open grave. That was the chuckle it got for me. They find out they dragged a body away. So long story short, a dude and his friend, and this is the one guy who's smarter than Willow. Willow comes in second to this guy in school, and he revived his brother, and his brother is lonely and wants to get laid. So they're going to put together a girl, and they have to get a live head because the formaldehyde breaks down the brain too fast, right? So they have to get a fresh head. So eventually, and one guy's like, I don't want to do it. Don't make me do it. And his friend's like, fuck it, I'll do it. Pick a girl. And they pick Cordelia. And I mean, it's also so reckless. I mean, this is Buffy. There is no cops around. a shocking amount of children die, and there's
Yes.
like no real investigations. But at least they like you have the Hellmouth to explain it, MauLer. You know what? Would Cobra Kai work more for you if there was like a karate mouth in the valley that drew people to karate and made people like karate more?
Well, Snyder is the response to this. He's supposed to be the cat because they do in School Hard. It's almost acknowledged explicitly that they're covering shit up all the time. But that's just a writing like band-aid. It's better than nothing. But like everyone dies at this school every day. Like,
I know,
it's ridiculous.
but at least they did at the end of School Hard. I was thankful for that line, but we'll get to it. We won't spend a lot of time on this episode. It's super on the nose. I wasn't sympathetic about some lonely guy at all.
As we've talked about, though, the reason you don't skip these is loads of little pieces, loads of little moments for characters. You'll get to like them more. You'll like Giles, Willow, Xander, Buffy more, despite being like, what the fuck was this plot line? It's like, yeah, it's one of the bad ones. But for example, when they're trying to teach or advise Giles on like what he should say to Jenny, because
for a date,
Buffy says she simulated a conversation. She says, "Yeah, how do you feel about Mexican?" He goes, "About Mexicans."
It's all food, and it's funny as hell. So 90s when he goes, he's like, "I want to discuss with you a thing." She's all, "Well, we can do it at the game. You can come with me, and we can go get some Mexican food on the way, and then you can discuss the thing." And then he finally gets there, and she's like, "So on our second date," he's like, "What?"
It's all work they chip away throughout the whole of the season. It's all getting to passion. That's where it's all going. And this is why you need these pieces so that episode hits way harder.
Oh, is this the episode where Miss Calendar said where she was? Oh no, that was the first episode where she's like where she spent her summer and she's like, I went to Burning Man. I'm like, oh wow.
I thought it was funny that she's implying to him that she's lived this crazy life that he couldn't possibly understand. When he's like hiding that shit from everybody.
This is the season
he would summon demons to get high. Like she's got nothing on him.
She's got nothing. Oh my god, we should have got a Ripper series, dude. It would have been so good.
Yeah, it would have.
Oh,
do you remember when they're talking about education and stuff? And Cordelia says, "I don't think anyone should have to do anything educational in school if they don't want to."
If they don't want to.
She's right,
She is. She's
often correct.
You'll probably Cordelia's like the Mrs. favorite. Like she loves Cordelia.
Well, it's the thing. I think it's a mistake for anybody to rate like Cordelia's lines as she's like a ditzy idiot sort of thing. It's like you have to. The way they do her lines is very specific. She'll say stuff that has got like a hint of what she truly believes is accurate, and that she doesn't care what everyone thinks of her having said it. But it's not like retarded. It's this stuff that makes you just think for a second a lot of the time. One of my favorite lines from her, and I've said it before, is when Giles tells her, it's in this season, I think. He says, couldn't you have a bit of tact? And she says, tact is just not saying true stuff.
Yep.
It sounds like a stupid lie, but you're sort of like, well, yes, that's true. That's fair.
Yep. It's all, Well, that was laid out in the first season when she said she's lonely, but she is aware of her circumstances, but she'd rather be lonely around people. Like there's a logic to that.
Yeah.
Doesn't actually help you, but there's a logic to it. So, Frankenstein doesn't get his girlfriend. They don't cut off Cordelia's head, and then he goes to the body. Like the thing the place catches on fire. Right. Mm-hmm. And then he just runs back to the body that was never really revived. It was so dumb.
I just don't feel anything. I was like, okay. The most important shit to me is stuff like Xander rushes in to save Cordelia through the fire and gets her out.
Yep.
It's like, that asshole. That piece of shit.
That complete piece of shit.
And yeah, like I said, just funny interactions. I think this is
was that the episode where at the end where where Xander and Willow are talking about how they can't get dates?
Yes.
And then Cordelia walks up and goes, I want to thank you for saving me and all this stuff. He's like, yeah, go away.
We're talking.
We're talking. How come we can't do dates? That was good. That was good.
Yeah, when he's asking for advice and Buffy says if Miss Calendar's a techno pagan, just bless her laptop or something.
Oh.
I thought that was funny, despite the fact I think that's the final time actually they say techno pagan. Thank the gods.
Thank the gods. By the way, I would have thought that was cringe. I thought that was cringe when I first heard it. I would have thought it was cringe in the 90s and the 80s when I was 7 if I ever fucking heard techno pagan.
I never remembered liking that line ever. So yeah, even when I was a kid.
Like techno mage, okay, but techno pagan,
technomancer to an extent, you know.
Yeah.
Also, in regards to that, the British American stuff, Giles says when they're at the game, he says, "So you guys put on a shit ton of armor just to play rugby." I was like, because a lot of Americans will be like, "What the fuck is rugby?"
Yep. And then she's like, "Oh, is that how we do a first date? You insult my country?
Yeah.
You said a date?"
Yeah. So this, like I said, it's you can skip it, but you also miss out on just some stuff that's actually good in there because they sneak stuff in all the time.
Just watch it all.
Well, on the note of watching it all, School Hard. Major highlight for the season for many reasons. And whenever you watch this show with someone who hasn't seen any of it and Spike arrives, it's such a like, here he is. Oh man, what an impact he makes on this whole show. It's insane.
It is, and never meant to be a recurring villain.
No, you can see because obviously we're talking about 1 through 10, right?
Yep,
So that is Spike's like contribution.
That was supposed to be it. Yeah.
And you can tell because the rest of the season, he's just a commentator. He sits in a chair, like making fun of people. And you'd think, it's like, oh, that sounds awful. It's like, it's not. It's really funny.
It's really funny because he's pithy and it's great.
Yes. And he annoys another character. Like, I'm trying to be spoiler free, okay? Like, he annoys the shit out of another bad guy.
And Drusilla, you were talking about this before the show, and I totally agree. This is like Drusilla at her best.
Well, so more controversially, perhaps, I actually think she's one of the wasted elements of the IP, I guess.
I would agree.
There's so much they could have done with her. They do some stuff with her, but it's mainly season 2 that benefits from Drusilla. I appreciate her appearances beyond, but not as served as other characters are. And certainly not for what you can do with her. I also would argue, I don't know if you agree, but feel like the show thinks she's more funny the more we go on. She'll say lines and other characters will be like, wow, you're wacky and idiot, that sort of thing. Whereas when you first see her, a lot of the lines are much creepier.
Yeah, she's supposed to be creepy because she does have an extra power that normal vampires don't have. And that's probably due to her torture. That would be a match. Something happened.
I love her story, and I think we're gonna have to. You get it, you know. I think in the selection, Angel talks about it, right? But he's just when he was Angelus, she's considered. He said she's like his greatest work. So she was like a seer. So she had. I'm pretty sure she had visions, right? Like
she had visions of some kind. Yeah,
the same as certain other people we'll meet in future. That the idea being the powers that be grant you vision so that you can see impending doom and you can help people. It gives you, it's like a heroic power. And then Angelus follows her, stalks her indefinitely, kills every single person she cares about, basically breaks her mind. She goes to like a convent or something to take her vows. And on the day she does it, he turns her into a vampire.
And where she apparently keeps her visions.
Destroyed her brain and simultaneously makes her a vampire that has this like almost crippled version of visions that helps the bad guys instead of the good guys. Again, just as a quick origin of a character, you're like, oh shit, sounds like you could do so much with that, and they do something with it. It's just not as much as they could have. I think
not as much as they could have, but she's damn good in it. And you know, like the bird died, you gotta feed it love. So good.
Well, yeah, so School Hard is
School Hard. Yeah, we don't got it too far ahead of my Spike Girl's in the town. And it
It's crazy. This is a fucking parody of Die Hard, by the way. Like, or a reference, the whole thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. But yeah, he rolls into town, meets up with the Anointed One, and you can tell that Spike doesn't play by the rules. He's a different kind of vampire, and the Scoobies don't know who he is at first, right? When they first hear of him.
Yeah.
But here, I got to get to my little. It's not.
Well, I'll just say, so we even get our standard, almost boring scene of the night of Saint Vigius or whatever is coming up, and so the Anointed One is going to command his team of vampires to do XYZ, and they're like, "Yes, we shall defeat the Slayer. Yes, we shall." And you sort of like, yeah, okay,
here we go again, yeah.
And then the camera like sways, and there's Spike, and he's like, "Hello." He's just like, wait. And, the whole scene to me is just they contrast how completely different he is in terms of his energy, his look, the acting versus what we're currently dealing with for vampires, and it's just like a very little subtle element of the sort of the show being like, yeah, we're moving on from the whole blarg, I'm a vampire and I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, and we're gonna that Buffy, she defeated us, but we will have another ritual of another kind every few episodes, and that becomes the thing, because that's what TV kind of was. Right. So I would love to say they played it as a long joke, which would be genius, but it just sounds like they had something going and they're like, it's not working anymore. Let's throw a monkey wrench in this. And Spike is when like things change. That's when the whole course of this show changes with this episode.
And his accent, by the way, a bit different from what he settles on later in seasons. It's a bit more intense in this one. Like, for example, I think he says luck at some point. He's like, look, like it's I forget what word it is, but it's something that gives away. It's like, oh, they're still experimenting on exactly what he's going to do for his voice. But interesting to watch the DNA of the character, considering he basically nails this from the ground running. It's kind of amazing to watch. James Mars just did such a fucking good job. And I'm not entirely sure exactly what all the influences were, like all of them, or what decisions led to him making some of these, but I know he was desperate to make this work because, he needed work. So,
yeah,
good job, man.
he took the opportunity and ran with it. So Spike meets up with the Anointed One and offers basically, I'll get you, Slayer. And he's all, I don't mean to brag, but who am I kidding? I love to brag. And then he talks about killing 2 Slayers.
Again, unmatched energy. And he's just funny too. Like I fed off a flower person and spent the next 6 hours watching my hand move.
Yep.
I'm sorry. What?
Oh, he was because one of the vampires goes, I was at the crucifixion. He goes, listen, mate, if every vampire who said they were at the crucifixion was there, this would be Woodstock. Because I don't know if there's anybody young here, but all the boomers say they were at Woodstock, every single one of them, which is just not true.
Oh, and as I just mentioned in chat, that does get banked on. The whole humans getting high, vampires feeding off them creates an experience. Orpheus, I think, is the drug that they reference in Angel for that, which is a Greek god, I think. Orpheus, right?
Sure.
Got to check my books and make sure all that's true.
Well, just ask Chris Nolan fans; they'll be experts on all Greek mythology.
So this dynamic is so important and just well fleshed out immediately. All the dialogue is super important, but like he's this brand spanking new vampire who looks completely different, talks completely different, seems so cocky and fun, and then in comes Drusilla, and he completely changes his demeanor. And he's like, he changes from vamp face to regular. He's much softer with her and caring.
He's like, oh, are you okay, honey?
And it's like, what the fuck? We've gotten a character for like 2 minutes, and he's already got way more dimensions than any other vampire we've seen.
Does any character have the dimensions of Spike in the first 5 minutes in all of Daredevil Born Again season 2?
Oh no! Yes, Heather, multi-dimensional.
Oh, okay, thank you.
My favorite character.
Okay, just real quick. Yes or no? BB Urich is the most evil person in Daredevil Born Again season 2.
I mean, Heather's competition, right? But I get where you're going. I do get it.
I think it's BB.
She's taking all the wins as well. She thinks she did something. She did nothing throughout the whole season. She's like, wow, I'm a hero. That episode was so fucking bad, dude. We can't talk about it.
No, we can't. Not Woodstock 99, the original Woodstock, the Woodstock that I was born on the last day of. I was born on the last day of Woodstock, MauLer.
Neat.
I fucking hate hippies.
And
boomers. Except for the good ones here in the chat. I love you.
But yes, watching her behave completely differently and yet more interestingly than any of the vampire as well, the fact that he clearly cares about her is new. Like most vampires seem to not care about anyone other than themselves, or they worship some boss.
Yeah. I mean, it's before we've built up the sire dynamic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But before, it's just these are demons. They don't like each other. They'll turn on each other, but there is a genuine love with them, or like an uber form of desire, right? So vampires will desire something.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a while before we can get into more mechanically.
Mm-hmm.
Season 5 of Buffy gets really complicated with exactly how it works. But for now, yeah, this is, if you're a new viewer, you just be like, so vampires can love. And you'd be like, sure, we'll go with that for now.
In their way.
Yeah, we'll go with that for now. It's fine. And
well, I mean, yeah, that for now, yes, we're going to say right now, because I know it just clicked what you were talking about. So, yeah, because a vampire is your soul leaves the body and the demon occupies your body, but has all your memories, everything, but it's not you. It'll sound like you. It'll look like you when it wants to, but it's not you.
Which, yeah, they get into in Lie to Me, which is another extremely important episode for the whole show. But yeah, this introduction, it just hits in a really weird way of like, what's going on here? And you're like, yeah, they were changing some shit. I know it's still episode 3, but when you had more time to plan everything out, you could take your time.
You could take your time, and then and they have this like super group of writers, and they haven't even like, David Greenwalt's around, right? But they haven't even assembled their A team yet.
No, completely. The A team's not here yet. No.
Mm-mm. That was like Bruce Seth Green, that's a director. But yeah, there's Marty Knox. There's some of the good writers are here, but not all of them. We're still missing like a lot of the good.
Need David Fury. He's got
David Fury, dude.
he's responsible for a lot of the great episodes.
Yeah, he is.
Ed was just mentioned. David Fury writes Go Fish. Yeah, well, sometimes you miss, okay?
Sometimes you miss. I get it. But, why wouldn't you? Yeah. So, yeah, David Greenwalt wrote School Hard. So.
And David Fury is Smile Time, right? Pretty sure he did Smile Time. Unless I'm wrong. For Angel. Season 5.
No. That was Ben Edlund.
Oh, was it? I'm mixing
Ben Edlund.
What did I know that Fury did something in season 5 that I've always been impressed with. Hang on, let me find it. Because the whole team have just got like episodes you go, oh shit, they wrote that, and you're like, yeah. Which is funny because the people who wrote Some Assembly Required, the Frankenstein episode, also wrote Passion. So
yeah, I mean, you have good days and you have bad days. That's
you really
just it.
do.
I have good streams, I have bad streams, right? You don't have bad streams, but I mean, it's not like I don't try.
Where's oh, here we go. Right, that's what I was looking for. Buffy and Angel, 12 episodes in Angel. Yeah, he had You're Welcome, Destiny, Power Play, and Just Rewards, which obviously is season 5, so I kind of love all of them, but that's how it goes.
There is not a bad episode in season 5 of Angel.
Nope.
But there isn't.
And then, okay, what did he write in season 2? Yeah, Go Fish is his only credit. Well, he gets better. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, maybe he took one for the team. We never know. But in School Hard, Spike shows up and offers the Anointed One that he will get the Slayer, that pesky Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
And what is this? And he promises to kill Buffy. And he like the other thing is he doesn't have any crazy intricate plans at first. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna go now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kill
I'm
her.
gonna go now too.
It is funny though, his introduction and the team finding out about him. It's like, oh dear, this vampire means business. You're like, well, you can't. You've already got the worst vampire in history as Angel now, so you're gonna have to do something else. And I love that the response to that is, he's the second worst vampire in history. Like, okay, like,
but they have an answer for that later. But you're right. You're right. Angel reveals that he knows Spike from his past life as Angelus. He's William the Bloody, but it takes them a minute to figure out because they hadn't heard of Spike. Although they should have heard of Spike. He killed a Slayer.
The thing
Killed
is,
two.
Giles should know these two off by heart for sure.
Yeah,
they would be famous.
So this is this your okay? You told me, was it last stream, that we get the impression that Giles is kind of, the Watchers don't respect him and they kind of threw him to California to the Slayer basically to get rid of him. Like, well,
because if Buffy's history is to be believed and you see kind of the movie as a base plate, if you will, of what happened, it could be that the Watchers are like, that American Slayer Buffy, hopefully she dies soon. She's kind of a mess. Like, we'll refocus when we get someone better. And it's like, well, she's still going, so you're going to send someone. And Giles was a late bloomer, right? He rejected his call, so to speak, and then eventually went back. So, and he mentions, like I said, at some point that he doesn't get invited to certain functions. Doesn't seem like they like him that much. I think Wesley says something about what they think of Giles.
Yes.
And so the idea, like, it's a bit of headcanon, but I just like the idea that they tossed him over there because they didn't even like him working with them. So off he goes, and he ends up creating like the best duo of Watcher Slayer in history.
And that's what they did to Wesley. Wesley was
there's a lot of that going on because they had outright fire Wesley to the point where he's abandoned in America, which there's loads of good stuff on that, which we'll talk about eventually. But so on that front, yes, Giles is always trying to figure himself out, but also doesn't really want the team to see that he's doing that. And they play into that a lot more in this season than in season 1 even. Also, dude, having Spike stalk Buffy in the Bronze was already another sort of signal of like, this guy's different. This is like smart. He's keeping an eye on her, see how she lives, who she's around. And what's funny, I think it's funny, there's no difference between him doing that and Angel doing it, except the music. Like, it's with Spike, it's like, but with Angel, it's like, oh, romantic. Like, is that so? I'm amused by this, but hey, and Spike's plan of like sends a minion to attack someone, and then it's like, oh no, there's a vampire attack out there, or whatever, and sends Buffy out to watch her fight.
Yeah, so there's a parent-teacher conference at the school, and Spike attacks it. So he stakes her out at the Bronze a little bit, and then he draws her out pretty easily by going, my God, there's some guy biting somebody's neck out there, and it draws her out pretty quick. Yeah. So, like, it just shows that he means business. So once they trap her at the school, which is funny because Principal Snyder's like, it's a gang of drug addicts on PCP.
They run they apparently run the PCP story a lot.
Apparently they run it a lot. So they get trapped in various rooms. Cordelia's trapped with Willow in the closet. And Joyce is with Snyder and some other guy. And Spike is, basically walking through the school. Xander is sent out by Giles to go find, he's with Miss Calendar, and then Giles sends out Xander to go get Angel. So this is like the one time it's like, oh, good. They're calling for help from Angel because a super powerful vampire would probably be really helpful in this situation, even with a Slayer there. We don't want to take away her agency, but
not just scary vampire, not just one that's in control of a bunch of other vampires, but one with history with Angel that makes it more interesting, which is what Spike feels like. It's like, we're going to start adding character to our bad guys instead of just having them be bad guys. And I don't mean to shit on the Master. It's just that most of his dialogue in season 1 was blah, ha, ha, I'm going to kill the Slayer. I'm going to escape. I'm going to be bad. And it's just like, yeah, I got all that. I know you're doing that.
No, Spike was proactive. He did things. He's a man on a mission. And he always got thwarted at the last minute. But I love that first scene between when Xander gets Angel. He's like, you got a plan? And Angel just grabs him by his neck, which is, I mean, it's a quick scene, but you're like, what? You know? And it's a good plan. He comes in.
It's a difficult thing because this is so important to everything going forward, like what is said here, to the point where they had to come back to this scene a couple of times to be like, okay, what did we say was true about, because the one arguable mistake is that Spike refers to Angelus as his sire.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's wiggle room because he does specifically say, you are my Yoda. Yoda's a mentor.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's what he means when he refers to Angel as sire, is like, you help make me who I am. But of course, as the show progresses, the words they use is sire and grandsire, I think.
A little different.
Angel is his grandsire when they're more specific. Now, I can't say when they were making this that they wanted to definitively say that Angel made Spike, but there's enough wiggle room, like I said, that they can kind of escape it because
it sounded that way. It sounded that then they just like, we're gonna change it later.
Well, because I love the little family tree they have, right? I think we went over it before, but the Master, Darla, Angel, Drusilla, Spike it's like a powerhouse team in this universe. And they were all together at one point. They
were a happy little family.
Or I can't remember if they're actually all 5. I know that they have a group of 4 at one point, and then Darla's with the Master at different points. But yeah, there's lots of different history parts for that. It's good stuff.
Darla.
Do you remember when they're talking about that history, and Willow starts thinking about how Angel's been alive for so long, and she says, if he was dating just 2 girls a year over 400 years, that would be like, she trails off, and then she just goes, why do they call it a mace?
Yep.
It's a good segue there, Willow. It's good stuff.
Was. At least they addressed the elephant in the room. This big age difference.
And prepping for the big fight, I think Cordelia says, how come Giles has us locked up making weapons? Even slaves get minimum wage. It's like, what?
Oh, it's so good. So Angel and Spike meet in Sunnydale, and Angel has Xander hostage, and he's basically, offering up his neck to bite once in a while. And anytime Xander starts to puff off, he kind of strangles him a little harder.
You could argue it's so difficult moving forward because it's like knowing everything that happens, right? And again, I'll try and remain spoiler free, but the last time Spike would have known or interacted with Angel, he'd be aware about Angel's predicament. Just put it that way. That's what we see in the history. Drusilla and Darla certainly knew, and they would all talk about it, and it would probably be annoying. It didn't seem like Spike cared all that much because he was having too much fun on his own, especially during the Boxer Rebellion. But like the idea is that it's like Angelus is like, nah, I'm me and I'm good and I'm having some fun, and then Spike sees through it, which I think still works with everything else we see. It's like, it's okay, it works.
And it kind of does once you see Angelus, right?
Oh, that's actually true. Sorry, the last time I guess they would have seen each other that we know of was in the submarine. That's true. Which I love that episode too, but we're far away from talking about that.
That's a great episode. That's a great episode. So yeah, Spike sees through it pretty easily, and has him and his group of vampires are going to start attacking everybody and going to find the Slayer and kill her, because that's what he's going to do. And he says that a lot this season. He says that a lot. And then eventually, Angel and Spike stop fighting because Buffy shows up, and that girl that she was supposed to do the project with at school she got turned, the
Yeah.
druggie, right? And she's walking behind her with the axe, and then she sees Buffy sees it in the reflection in the hallway and fights it off. And then when Buffy's fighting Spike, he bests her.
He's pretty good. If we were to Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings style rank fighters in the Buffyverse, Spike's like one of the top. He's really high up. He's really good at his job. He beats a lot of people in fights, and I think he beats Buffy several times. It's always close, but the reason the show always gives is because Spike he wants the win like more than anyone. It's not necessarily like skill or whatever. It's that he's always very aggressively and passionately in the fight. And so
yes,
he wants to win all the time.
William the Bloody.
And yeah, you're right. He does beat her, but then he gets cheap shot. Okay, Joyce ruins it.
Yeah,
gosh, women.
And then he runs away.
Do you remember? I think it's season 5. Again, this is I think fair spoiler, but when things don't go right for him with the certain thing that's happening, and he's like, "What the bloody hell is wrong with you bloody women?"
Yep.
It's so British. It feels like fucking Basil Fawlty is saying that line. I love it, but
so Joyce isn't mad at Buffy anymore, and this is where Snyder and the cop talk and have. Well, should we just tell him it's PCP again? What are you going to tell him? The truth? So we know he knows.
Yeah, and this season does throw in the reference. I always love it when it happens where Snyder says like, I think it's in the finale or it's part 1 or part 2, but he says, "Tell the mayor I have great news." It's one of those things. I just like it when there's connections like that. It's like the mayor.
Yeah, because they definitely dropped the mayor. Yeah, in the season.
Which,
I mentioned.
People don't know he's like one of my favorite bad guys from all of Buffy.
Great bad guy.
Be excited to talk about him. Be fun.
It'll be really fun. And Spike goes back to the Anointed One. This is great.
And he says, how's the annoying one?
Yep. He kneels before him, and he's like, I'll take my penance. And the kid goes, "You failed."
Yeah, which is to me still leftover DNA of how the Master dealt with. Remember we talked about it? The 3. And they do one awkward battle, fail, and all die.
Yep.
Like, you owe me your lives. So this feels like we're doing that again. And Spike feels like the audience almost of like, oh, come on. Like, it's stupid.
So he throws the Anointed One in a cage and raises the cage into the sunlight, and he's gone. That's it. The Anointed One is gone. The annoying one. And that was great. That was great.
From now on, we're gonna have a little less ritual around here and a little more fun. And it's so true, because that's what Spike is. It's basically like he's our first half of the season villain. He'll be filling in when they don't have enough, I guess, material for any given episode. He'll be given a handful of lines that are supposed to just be funny and entertaining. He's supposed to be a threat, and then he'll be gone. And that's his purpose. And simultaneously, it's like, well, so what's the Anointed One now? And it's like, yeah, he's fucking dead. Whatever.
He's dead.
Get him out of here. And it's crazy because you should be like, you can't do that. You made a big deal about his introduction. He's been here for ages. Like, you can't just kill him. And I think the Rise are like, yeah, we can. Yeah, we just gotta, cut your losses, I guess. This is an example of.
And it's a great way to do it. And you could even play it off as a long joke. Like, subverting a trope, but doing it well, right? Doing it with a little wink and a smile. We don't need to talk about Inca Mummy Girl doing it.
I'm afraid it's the whole point of this show.
Yeah.
Okay? But no, I just want to say, like, I've never not adored that moment where he so lovingly melts the Anointed One, because I don't remember a single time where I've watched this show and I haven't been annoyed by that kid. No offense to him. I just mean the character. Sorry, not
the character was stupid.
Yeah, so
and I don't think they knew what to do with it at all.
It felt like a pure, because they often, Buffy and Angel specifically, often try to repair shit that's not working. They'll be like, okay, we move it around, have this happen to the character so that we can get them there, blah blah. But this felt like an absolute expression of the audience's frustration of, it's not working, get him out. We'll try something else. Sorry about that. Like, It's fine. Don't
Yeah,
worry about
I
it.
think they thought a child would be creepy, and they got a creepy looking child, and maybe they're like, but he really can't act.
Yeah,
And like there's not much we could do, and like it really does limit what you can do with a kid.
it's maybe it could have worked, maybe if you know, but I just
His Joss Whedon work, like I don't find him, I can't see him being patient enough to deal with kids.
no, I think that's definitely potential. Yeah.
Does he have kids?
I want to say yes. I'm not 100% sure though. But while you're searching that up, Inca Mummy Girl is
Yeah, I don't want to look up their names. I'm just curious if he has children.
yeah.
Two. He has
Straightforward.
two.
Straightforward episode. Inca Mummy Girl. It's got an idea. It's executed fine as far as I'm concerned. It just doesn't activate any kind of passion from me. It's one I often forget.
It is. I mean, like the premise isn't bad, right? It's not like the some assembly required is a good premise, just horribly executed, right? That we've
Yes.
seen before. This one is Mummy Girl is robbed of her life, and
Yeah, with parallels to the Slayer, right?
It's parallels to the Slayer, and she just wants to, date boys and go to dances.
Yeah,
but
live.
There's a drawback. She needs to suck the life out of somebody every how often?
It seems like half a day, honestly.
Every half a day, she's got to suck the life out of somebody to stay young.
Yeah, and so that's solid enough for me in terms of it's got a tragedy element and it's got the connection to Buffy saying that she made the sacrifice to do what she did to help the world be a better place. I think, do they argue she learned English because she was like aware while she was a mummy the whole time?
Yeah.
So she was hearing people talk and stuff. And so it's like, yeah, that's something like 400, 500 years of just being there. So I don't even, I kind of get it, like the whole, wanting her chance to live, considering she suffered for 5 centuries. It's like that's insane. But
No,
at the same time, it's like you can't kill people, so sorry.
You can't, but at least there's a motivation there where you have some
Yeah.
sympathy. Like you said, there's some, like she was sitting there aware and awake for 500 years. So, I mean, I get why she'd say fuck it, but.
And again, there's just bits and bobs. Like when the guy goes missing, the like sort of troublemaker dude, I forget his name, but they're trying to figure out why it might have happened. And I think they go like, it's all like a mummy would have come alive and killed him. And then they sort of look around, they're like, because the person I was watching this with said like, it's so stupid that they don't entertain the fact that it probably was a mummy. And I was like, wait. It's like, just wait, they're about to do the thing where they go, wait, it probably was that, considering how stupid this fucking town is and everything goes to shit. And I think they say like, did he step out for a smoke? I think Willow says that they're like for 20 hours. And then she says, well, it's addictive. It's a 20-hour smoke could happen. I think Cordelia says a criticism of Swedish people that they don't speak American. There's all these little lines that I'm just like, yeah. I mean, it makes it fun because I like these characters so much. So, even with a plot that's a bit stiff, is kind of how I would maybe describe this one. It's not that it doesn't work. It's just might need some tweaking. If this were made in a later season, I think it would have a lot more pizzazz, flavor, dynamism. I don't know.
There you go. Is this the first Oz episode? I think so.
Yes, because the band are in. Dingoes Ate My Baby.
Dingoes Ate My Baby.
I think when Xander's getting to know her, he says, she says, I like you. And he says, that's great. You're not a praying mantis, are you? Which comes up a couple of times. It's such a bad episode, but they reference it in a way that just makes you like, yeah. It's a thing that happened for sure.
So she eventually the mummy runs out of dudes to suck dry, so she eventually turns on Xander.
Well, at first, right, it's like gonna grab Jonathan or something, and then she can't because Xander's in the room, and then it's almost Giles, then Willow, and then Xander's like, if you're gonna take someone, take me. Which again, what an asshole Xander is.
Terrible person.
Damn. Gosh damn it. Gosh, what is just if only these were he could counteract those awful elements of his personality with some better ones, like everyone treats every character in this series except for him. Kind of weird he gets zeroed in for that.
And she tries, but fails.
And this is just it's sort of like another notch in the what's going on with Willow's and relationship stuff, because there's bits and bobs throughout this, but there's obviously this is where she's first Oz is made aware of her and Xander's dating other people. It's like they're trying to keep the storyline going through season 2 while Buffy does her angel stuff, and you know, it has different results on effect. Like, I assume me and you are not as much invested in the will they won't they relationship for the teenage kids. We're also like, ooh, a mummy, ooh, a vampire, ooh, Spike.
No, see, that's where the show balances itself out really good. With God, this probably is something that contributed to shipping. I'm not going to deny that.
Oh,
but,
sure, yeah.
Yeah, like I never have. I will not care about will they, won't they in most things. But if you have me distracted with a monster or somebody being funny or, you know, whatever, I'm good. I'm good.
Do you remember the Cordelia's treating a Swedish exchange student really cruelly? She's like, she thinks he doesn't know English. She's like, memento, punchy, drinky, and then later on, there's just a quick scene where he's walking with someone else, and the guy goes, memento, punchy, drinky. Is Cordelia even from this country? So, you know, lots of little highlights still.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know, something that I felt was noteworthy actually is when they say Impada is the mummy, meaning the monster, meaning the person we got to defeat. Willow says, "Oh, good." Then she goes, "Oh no, Xander." And to me, it's just like, dude, you can track these characters so early, because that's like not a good thought Willow's having, right? I'm happy that Xander's girlfriend turned out to be the monster we can kill.
Yeah,
because she's a bit jealous, a bit vengeful, and but like it's funny right now.
It
won't be funny forever.
Nope.
But some of it you just feel like is like, was that deliberate? And you're like, well, I mean, that's, you know, I can't say how much is deliberate, but like they did have certain things planned at certain points of like, we'd like to go this way with the character, but hey, who knows if we'll get there.
I'm certain maybe they didn't have an outright show Bible. I don't know for sure. Maybe he did. Straczynski did. But I'm certain they had a plan, like an outline. It's not like they made everything up as they went. So they like, at the very least, ideas like, here are certain directions we can go. And I think that would be a monumental task to just start from scratch. Although Jar Jar Abrams and Damon Lindelof did it every season with fucking Lost. They just rolled into the writer's room going, what are we doing this season?
Lost was, because I watched that as it all came out. Lost was so funny because season 1 and I think 2 were clearly built with like, this character's being secretive about a certain history. And then you get their episode and you go, oh, that makes sense. That was why that was I gotcha. And then you get to like the later seasons and it's like, I have another secret. You're like, what? And you're like, it turns out that thing you knew about me, it's way crazier. There was a dinosaur, also machine guns, and you're like, what? that was happening the whole time. Trust me. And you're like, okay.
I had a dinosaur. That's so good.
It's weird as you go along, but yes, Reptile Boy. Not a fan of this episode.
No,
I would say this is an example of they've still not figured out how to crack real world issues with the allegory monster issues. Sometimes they get it really well. I'd even say season 1, like with The Witch or somewhat with Nightmares, it's like they get it, they know what they're doing. But this is a drawback again of like, dude, I think the interest in trying to have both kind of just screwed up both. Because the frat boys worshipping giant snake man versus, you know, manipulation and abuse of different people through hazing / spiking drinks and the culture within frat parties and stuff. It's like there's 2 different things you do in there, and you try to push them together, and it just became shit, I think, unfortunately.
It did. And maybe it stems from like Joss Whedon being such a nerd of my age. I almost said our age. Where a lot of them just fucking hated jocks and frat boys. And when you just have a caricature in your mind, and normally he doesn't do that. Like he tried to flesh out the jock, right? He didn't do it. You know, the writers didn't do it in some assembly, but they tried to make it sympathetic.
Right.
Because the frat boy thing became very on the nose, like, oh, these are the, this is the skull and bone shit that, I mean, hey, I totally believe that everybody has to go through and they become the CEOs and the presidents and all that.
Yes, yeah, they do that.
Yeah. And you're right. When they, I mean, it makes sense to put the hazing thing in. It wasn't executed well, I guess. Like I get it, but
again, pieces will highlight a couple just off the top of my head, but like the whole overall episode, I was just like, well, anyway, moving on. Easy to forget this one as even being a part of the show. It's just like, what even is the thing with this? It's like they worship the demon in the basement, and then they kill the demon in the basement, and we move on. And it's like, okay. I think they're talking about just different shit to do with like a lesson from Giles or something. And Cordelia says, I was so busy listening, I didn't hear anything. I like lines like that. They just amuse me. And again, like I'm serious. These things are important to make you ready for the shit that's really good. Because you're just gonna like subconsciously, you're just gonna like these characters more and more, and then you'll really care when bad shit happens to them.
Right. And the whole premise was Cordelia wanted to go to a frat boy party, and Buffy had to come along.
Yeah. Because Cordelia is almost the main important like factor to making all these things happen in this episode, right? And I think they say she wants to be with them because they're rich, right? Her arc in this episode is realizing that she shouldn't be with men that are older because they're insane and will sacrifice her to a demon. But but she says, "I'm not being shallow. Think of all the poor people I can help with my money."
That's such a good line.
Yeah. It's just funny shit.
It's really funny shit. Just to respond to the chat. I'm not a Chad hater. So when I was in high school, MauLer, I started out as a jock. Early days. I played what we call soccer in America. I played football, played baseball, played basketball, played them all. Well, started on every team I played. Then I did drugs and just got really good at that, or really bad at it, actually. But no, then where I went to high school, the pecking order wasn't like jock was on the top. It was surf team. It was surfer. So they were way above football players and stuff. So we partied with the football players. Yeah. All the time.
For me, it was funny because like that culture still wasn't dead by the time you hit late 90s, early 2000s. I think it's dead now though, like that sort of hierarchy. But I was super nerd stuff, be it like trading cards, video games, movies and stuff. But simultaneously, I think I've said to people before, I hit 6 foot when I was 12. So as much as I was a part of a group of people that were easily bullied for consideration for bullied, it's just I wasn't a very common target because it's just too annoying to deal with someone who's much taller than you, to bully them. But
you probably had double their reach, Oh,
and I also played rugby, so some of them like me, If you're good at rugby for the so to speak jocks, it's hard for them to want to bully you. They're like, nah, that guy's cool. He scored a point for us in one of the games. It's like, we like him.
Yeah. And also like, with the nerdy stuff, as long as you didn't publicize it, you were fine. Which is crazy to think about. But you didn't roll around with like a Star Trek shirt on at high school or a Star Wars shirt.
You understand how fucking difficult it was for our era because you cannot play video games without obviously projecting you're playing video games. Everyone with a DS in a hallway. It's like, well,
yeah.
Well, people connecting on Game Boys, like, dude, I think people are gonna spot it.
You ain't hiding that shit. Nope.
No.
So Reptile Boy.
There's something I really liked in this episode, right?
What's that?
We talk about these specific moments. So it's they walk in on Giles while he's sort of fencing on his own. Now, earlier in the episode, when he's training Buffy, he says to her, like, what are you going to do if someone comes up behind you and like attacks her, and she counters him immediately. And he's like, okay, let me go, like sort of thing, because obviously she's borderline got Spidey sense, as they imply as the show goes on, so it's hard to actually get the jump on her, even though some people do whenever the episode needs it to happen. Anyway, he's messing around with a fencing sword, I think. And while he's doing some moves, he says, will you be ready if a vampire's behind you? And does like a flip and sort of attacks. And then they walk in and he's like, oh shit, whatever.
Yeah.
So the way I saw that, it's not just funny. it's still him working out what we were talking about earlier, right? He's teaching Buffy, and then he's running what he taught her against himself while he's messing around with a sword.
Uh-huh.
And he's got no one to train him. He's not been trained very well as a watcher. He's borderline training himself, testing himself, always trying to figure out what he's supposed to do. I think it's just an expression of how much he doesn't know if he's actually the best teacher for her, and he's doing his best to make sure he stays on top of that. Because you remember in School Hard, when they get separated, he demands that he has to leave because he's responsible for her. He has to make sure she's okay, and then she bursts through the ceiling, and he's like, "Oh, there you are," sort of thing. But like he's always not 100% sure of what he's supposed to be doing, and I kind of love it. Like the fact that he projects himself as Mr. Logical, knows exactly what to say and do in every scenario, but he's always thinking whether or not he's actually doing it right. And this is also brand new to him as well, but he doesn't want the people he is looking after to know that. And these little moments always back that up for me, and I just really enjoy it, especially where he's going, right? Because by the time you hit halfway through season 3, he's basically just top tier watcher. And you wouldn't have thought, right? You'd think he'd be the static character, but he's getting his own little subtle arc as well.
We're coming up on like where he starts to get leveled up. That's the next episode. So he promises to not push Buffy as hard in the future at the end of the episode. Then we get to Halloween. I love this episode.
I love Halloween as well. This is maybe the first of they took a premise and without knowing anything else, you're like, oh, I want to see that. Yeah. That sounds awesome. Which they do a lot of later on.
They do. And the premise is it's Halloween and the vampires take this day off. They think it's annoying. So they go on for a second.
Well, while he's coughing, just to finish up on the whole point about the jock hatred for the previous episode, because I've got a line here that I always thought was interesting. Is if Xander is the most accurate representation of Whedon and he's got his issues, do you remember the line where he says he's getting pushed out because he's been hazed and fucked around with, and Xander says, "One day I'll have money, I'll have prestige, I'll have power, and on that day they'll still have more." which is funny, but still the bitterness, right?
Oh, poor Nicholas Brendan.
Yeah, man. I mean, he did Xander fantastically in this show, as far as I'm concerned. To the point where we're probably going to have to back not only the performance but the character several times, because for some reason he's like shat on very aggressively.
Totally. And this role probably fucked him up in the head. Or he was already messed up in the head anyway. But being a teenager and a youngster in Hollywood, all that pressure, not everybody can do it.
Well, it's sad too because such an early role for him that's so immensely popular pays extremely well by the time you get to the later seasons, and then it's all gone. And so it's like, now what? I imagine it was really good for stability being able to work on a show like this consistently.
Oh, hell yeah.
But as soon as it's gone, which, by the way, I can't imagine how that must feel, right? Being a supporting character, but with a major role so that your agent can argue for a lot of pay, consistent job for like 7-8 years. But then another cast member decides they don't want to do it anymore and it's over for everyone. It's like, damn, it's got to suck.
He was in Criminal Minds.
Yes. He's in he pops up in a couple of things, but, it sort of, it just doesn't fully work out eventually.
When did the downfall really start? Where his voice got all... He was in something this year? Christmas slasher?
No.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, it's it's basically it's like a student film. Poor guy. So Halloween.
Yes.
Before it gets too depressing. This is a fun episode where
there's also just some flexing of like the fact that they're getting better at filmmaking in general, right? So the scene where you have Buffy wants to know more about Angel's history. They decide the way to do that is to find Giles's books on Angel or his notes or something. And so you have a scene where the camera is a bit more fluid. It's Buffy trying to distract Giles while Willow gets in and gets the book.
Yep.
And she does it by, first of all, prompting him to talk about Halloween and how it's a bit weird that the demons don't come out on Halloween, which is a rule they stick to on on Buffy as best they can. They kind of fuck with it a little bit here or there.
Yep.
But like there's a why to that. And then manipulating him through Jenny, which again, it's really important that each episode keep that in mind, that relationship, because it's going to go through a roller coaster of certain things. And then just their relationship in general, the contrast is I find every conversation Giles and Buffy has it's just got a skill floor that's really high up. It's the worst version of that conversation is always pretty entertaining because the contrast is so thorough. And I will say, of course, he's still kind of carrying. Giles is still my favorite season 1 and 2. 3 it gets a little bit more complicated, but because Spike is almost the competition in season 2. And
if he was fully in the whole season, probably would have been the favorite.
Yes, Spike's one episode in season 3 is fucking great. Yeah, he's so funny in that episode. But what I guess I mean is just like this. There's all these moments in season 2 where it's like,
dude, his car is so rad. The one that's all blacked out,
Yeah.
And it's got like this much in the windshield. That was fucking cool. So in Halloween, so you talked about Spike is studying footage.
Yes, he's recording her battles to learn more about how she fights. Just makes him feel like more, threatening.
And there's Buffy Angel stuff, whatever. And Ethan Rain comes in. So he's got a costume shop it's a new costume shop that everybody's using.
He's I forget the actor's name, but he's in Star Trek sometimes, right? As well. He's like a TV show guy.
Yes. He's 90s British actor in a lot of things.
I fucking love every episode he's in a Buffy. I think it's 4 total.
Yes. And he's great in all of them.
All of them. Love the actor's work. I love the dialogue they give him. I love his motivation, right? It worships chaos.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun. And then obviously the history with Giles. It's Ethan Rain. Really, really, really good character. It's a shame we didn't get more of him.
What's the actor's name? I'm looking it up. I don't see it. It just says Ethan Rain. That's a fucking useless wiki. Come on. Robin Sachs? Robin Sachs. Yeah. Robin Sachs. Let's see.
Very good shit.
Dude, no, listen. British actors are better than American actors for the most part.
I guess certainly the ones that end up in American shows because they're probably there because they made it to the top of the British actors trying to get a chance out there. Of the ones that are still looking for work, I guess.
He's dead.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's part of why you don't.
2013.
Yeah, I mean,
that sucks.
So many.
I'm depressed. He's in Torchwood, Castle, NCIS, Mass Effect, Resident Evil, Damnation, Mass Effect 2, SpongeBob. He's in fucking everything.
I mean, he should be, right? That voice is great.
Knights of the Old Republic, Ocean's 11, Star Trek Voyager, Babylon 5.
I remember that, yeah. He's always Ethan Rain to me.
That could be a song.
So yes, the premise for the episode is Ethan Rain's coming to town with a little costume shop, and everyone who buys their costumes from him, he's going to cast a spell on them such that they become what their costumes are. We'll get more into that specifically for mechanics, but he manages to sell Buffy on an outfit that's kind of like I think it's 18th century woman that she thinks she can appeal to Angel with.
Yes.
Willow buys a ghost outfit from this place, and Xander has a
Willow dresses like
she's this is so awesome for like Willow is obviously very quiet, very mousy, and Buffy pushes her this episode to be like, Halloween's a chance for you to sort of express yourself a bit more. And the way she dresses, one, very much reminds you of Vampire Willow, and two,
yes,
much more akin to how Willow is willing to dress season 4 onwards. She gets much more expressive with colors and less muted and less covered, to say.
Even before I was watching the show and going to comic shops 3 or 4 times a week, where mostly people were talking about Buffy, especially the part of San Diego I was in, Willow was the most popular girl amongst the nerd dudes.
Makes sense.
Willow. Everybody liked Willow. More than Cordelia, more than Buffy. They had it for Willow. And maybe it's starting with this episode. Right. But
Well,
yeah, she dressed slutty.
everything is so slow burned, right? Like it's the contrast is so important that makes you start to be very interested in where the story's going. She's, like I said, very quiet, mousy, protective, defensive, and just doesn't, make a big deal out of herself. Season 1, there's always little like pieces of her being more aggressive, and the big thing that I really like about Willow that's very consistent, and it happens in this episode, I think for the first big notable time, is whenever Buffy's unavailable, Willow takes over. Because you would imagine it's always going to be Giles or perhaps someone else. But no, it's Willow. She gets a big boost of enthusiasm. The spirit of Buffy, you might even say, comes right through, and she'll direct everyone else into what they need to do. And whenever Buffy's in control, Willow's much more willing to offer them more like, I'm a little bit scared. I don't know how this could go wrong. It's like, oh, this could go bad, that sort of thing. So her choice to wear that outfit is like a huge step of, oh shit, she's getting a bit more out there. But then she puts the ghost outfit on top, and you're like, oh
yeah. She's like, no, I don't want to do this.
But mechanically, it's so fucking good, dude, because the way that it works on her is that the ghost outfit turns her into the ghost, but it's not a part of how she looks. So she still looks like that outfit she was wearing underneath. And she's got no time to worry about what people think of her being dressed that way, or how because she's trying to solve this problem, save everyone. And so she gets to be comfortable in it, all right? By the end of the episode, she's walking around pretty confidently with it. And I just think it's like, this is a little step forward of making her a bit more aggressive, assertive, and confident. And you can draw it all back. This is why these are we're getting closer to me starting to be able to explain why this is like my favorite show of all time and a blueprint for how you should do this shit. Watching someone change over the course of 7+ years, it's not easy to portray that in live action content because you have no guarantee you're going to be able to do it. You don't know what's going to happen to the actors, whether or not you're going to be able to continue the story. But the fact that Buffy burns this slowly as a show means you get to be like, look at this small thing that happens in their life that likely then has this ripple effect that eventually becomes this huge effect on them later. And they do a really good job with it.
And some we're not going to get anymore when shows take 2 to 3 years in between seasons.
Yeah, and they have fucking switched the writing team in the middle of the show.
In the middle of the show, they lose showrunners. Yeah.
It all gets fucked up, and so you have to appreciate the ones you got, I guess.
Yeah.
Underrated moment in the shop that they're in when Buffy's looking around, she picks up a pumpkin and she switches it on, and it just fucking screams. It just goes like, then she just turns it off, puts it down, looks around. I was like, does anyone not have that moment in shops? I've had that several times where you like, oh, it has a button and it makes a horrible sound.
It makes it, and now everybody's looking at me. Great.
It was so funny because it's like you'd think like, whoa, but it just sounds like a horrible scream.
It's so good. So the whole premise is they're putting on costumes. Xander's military. Now, and the start of a little thin plot thread starts in this episode too. There's this jock who's bugging Xander if Buffy will date him. That'll come up later, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And he's dressed as a pirate. And Cordelia got her costume somewhere else. She's a Catwoman. She's a Catwoman. Yeah. And all the little kids, all the cute kids have their demon costumes on and stuff.
There's on that front of the costume, by the way, when she sees Oz and he's like, Cordelia, you're a cat. She goes, that's the costume. It's like, no, I'm not a cat. Like the way her brain works is so funny.
So yeah, Ethan Rayne is there. He opened up this costume shop and he starts he basically casts a spell. Right? A spell.
Yeah, it's slightly intense. He's bleeding.
Very intense.
The statue, the way the camera moves around it. I again, not trying to insult them, but I thought it was really funny because this season is clearly doing a little bit more work with the camera. But do you remember it cycles from him above, over, and down onto the? You can see it like sort of rocking a bit because they're trying to keep it stable.
Because they're trying to keep it stable.
And I'm just like, good job, guys. I appreciate the effort. Like with just the way the show is developing, because we're gonna get some really fucking good camera work as the show goes on in certain moments. This is all just them trying, because I think we mentioned this before, but Whedon treated Buffy and Angel as this is sort of my career is still blossoming. I can experiment. I can do crazy things. Hence why you get shit that's terrible and shit that's like amazing suddenly, and changes the course of TV forever.
I think I still have a dolly track, right? So, you put your camera on something and it's literally planks of wood with a track, and you got a flat base and a cart on it, and you move it. And it's about 6 feet. I think I have that somewhere still. Totally useless now. You practically put just everything on a drone
Maybe
and get those kind of
that's
sweeping
true.
shots. So Ethan Rain casts the spell, and the spell is you become what your costume is.
I think specifically, you probably become your perception of what your costume is. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Not to get autistic, but like, it doesn't really make sense, does it? That the costume.
No, you can get autistic here. It's okay. It's okay.
I think if you dig far enough, it doesn't actually make any sense. But
no, it doesn't. There's certainly I forgot. There's a couple things that happen in this show, and they don't affect Cordelia. I want to say, isn't there something later on that doesn't affect her because she's just fucking Cordelia? I can't remember what it was, though. I might be mixing it up with something else.
I'm not 100% sure what you might be. Are you talking about something that's because it's lucky, or because it's actually her personality?
It's just her personality.
I guess to an extent, you could be talking about when they read minds. She's the only one that doesn't matter because
that's what I'm talking about.
She says what she thinks anyway.
She says that's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah.
That's funny as shit, man.
That was fucking good. So Cordy bought her costume at a different shop, and the spell hits, and like an old lady is passing out candy to these kids, and all of a sudden they just get goblin faces, and they attack the old lady. They start strangling her, and Willow can't do. So each high school student is supposed to supervise a bunch of kids trick-or-treating, right?
Yeah.
Which is actually a thing they did back in the day. And I don't know if they do it anymore. And still don't know how great of an idea it is, but whatever. She can't do anything because she's turning into a ghost.
She faints.
Presumably
faints. She dies.
She dies. Yeah, she's like, I can't breathe anymore, and she dies. And Xander turns into military guy, and his gun is real.
The camera movement where they move into him and then move out, so we can switch the gun out with presumably a prop guy. I just like those little moments. And there's just demons running around everywhere.
I love when he's being told what's going on. Like the Willow ghost comes in, and Buffy, and he's like, I'm going on a lot of faith here.
Yeah, he says, so she's from the past. He's like, yeah. He's like, and you're a ghost. Yes. Going on a lot of faith.
Going on a lot of faith here. Okay. But yeah, so they have to stop all this craziness, and eventually Spike and the vampires are going to use this to their advantage.
It's so funny. There's like a moment where Spike is rallying to try and get Buffy. And it's like he's talking to literally like 7 children of his new army.
I know, because they're demons. That's so funny. So he comes. But yeah, it's just and what the thing is, though, the spell doesn't kick in until like almost halfway through the episode, or maybe even when you're halfway through the episode. So they're setting everything up.
Something you'll find with some of the favorite episodes when you look back is that you remember the big payoff part as a lot longer, and you're like, oh wow, it wasn't that long at all. And it's like, yeah, because this is how you're supposed to do stories. Lots of prep, so it makes every little piece of the big payoff part feel a lot longer. The reverse of that is something like The Long Night, where it's just like the whole fucking thing is just battles. It's like, yeah, it's all just stupid though. So it just feels like a waste of time.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff getting drawn out. But I remember this episode, and I'm sure you do as well. It's like, oh, it's the episode where they become their costumes, and it's like, well, that doesn't even take place for a lot of it. I mean, but the parts that do are very fun. So
it's part of it, and and Buffy just becomes 17. She's I just want to get married, possibly to a baron, and do woman things. I don't make decisions.
Which is why I think her dialogue makes more sense if the spell works with what the person's perception of what that thing would be is.
Yeah.
Because her dialogue is hilarious, and it feels like it's Buffy's sort of annoying kind of like, oh, that would be what they would talk like probably.
Uh-huh.
But it
which
still works.
It still totally works, and it's a funny episode. But when you get to Giles, that's where it, when he finally confronts Ethan Rain, and even though Willow's a ghost, he's all, run, get out of here right now.
Yeah, which everyone watches is like, wait, what? And then he's like, hello, Ripper. And you're like, whoa, what's going on?
What's a Ripper?
Also, just a fucking a great moment before that. Willow's told them, she's like, I'm going to go find Giles. I'm going to solve this problem. And Cordelia's just like, who put her in charge? Which, again, like I said, they stick to. Willow always takes over when Buffy's out. But
yep.
She walks through the library walls just to talk to Giles, and he just flips the fuck out.
And he freaks out. And then he tries that cool. Hello.
Hi. And when they're talking about their costumes, I fucking love it when she's like, he's like, what are you dressed as? And she says, like, I'm a ghost. He just has a pause. He goes, ghost of what exactly?
But that's where they figure out that it it didn't affect Cordelia. He's like, oh my God, what is Cordelia? She goes, oh, she's just Cordelia, a cat. She bought it at another store. Oh, where'd you get it? A thing called Ethan's. And he goes, oh. So that's when he goes to the costume shop and confronts Ethan, tells Willow to run, and then his tone completely changes and he turns into Ripper.
There's so much good dialogue it's sort of like iceberg storytelling, right? Where you get a piece, but you start to imagine so much more. Like, it's a funny little act you've got going on here. It's like, it's not an act, it's who I am. It says, who you are, the Watcher, sniveling tweed-clad guardian of the Slayer and her kin. I think not. I was just like, holy shit. This is so much fun.
Dude, then he pops him,
Yep.
Yeah. And not like Ponzi English boy, like, I'm a badass. I just beat the fucking shit out of you. So automatically you're like, oh, he's Alfred.
It's this. I mean, they make a reference to that at some point, but it's the sort of stiff and pompous elements of Giles are things he's choosing to project about himself because it's what he wants to be now in his like later life. That's the person he wants to be. So meeting someone from his past life, so to speak, and it is the same for everybody. If you meet someone from your history, it brings the more of that history out of you, which is what that scene is.
Oh yeah, it certainly does. So I mean, pretty quickly they figure out like, hey, how do we stop this? So, but in the meantime, Spike and the group of child demons catch up with what was it, the pirate?
Which when Xander knocks him out, he's like, beating up that pirate gave me a weird sense of closure. And
Buffy wakes up in time. They break the statue or whatever, and Buffy wakes up in time, and Ethan Rain gets out of town. Then there's some kissy shit at the end.
Very solid, sort of isolated episode that still progresses some stuff, gives you a little taste of some other things to come, but it's just a really solid, and it kind of sets the stage for every time they have Halloween, something crazy will happen.
So we're gonna have to move a little faster. I can extend it a half an hour. So 2.
We're gonna have to we can do. All right. I mean, ultimately we can just get as far as we can get. It'll be all right.
All right. I'll tell you when we're there.
Well, do you want to do? Because we already do super chats as well.
Yeah.
So do you want to do that? Just start them now, or
let's do one more. Because this is a good episode.
Okay. So Lie to Me is the next one, and I would argue it's kind of foundational for the entire show. Right. This is a fundamental on Buffy's philosophy as well. And I don't just mean the character; I mean the show itself. The lesson the show wants you to take away, I would argue, beyond the what drives a child to adulthood sort of thing, is that you always have a choice, no matter what in your life, no matter how bad things get or what situation you're in. Yeah, and it's about like the responsibility of treating yourself as though you should always think about what you're doing, add some scrutiny to everything, and instead of treating yourself like you're just an object, there's no decision you could have made. You're forced to do this, you're forced to do that. It's like even in the worst scenarios, you have a choice, which is reflected, of course, in loads of things Buffy ends up doing in a lot of these seasons. A lot of really terrible choices, but she ends up a lot of the time doing the right thing. Sometimes she makes mistakes. Other characters have the same sort of thing happening. And there's a sort of key to a lot of villains and heroes at the lowest moments in the Buffy and Angel sort of shows will say, I didn't have a choice. And it's always, to me, it was always the show being like, do you see, they're wrong. They did have a choice, but they say that because they're under too much pressure. Their principles break. It's tough. And I would say this is part of why Wesley's my favorite, because it's like the personification of this whole thing. He has nothing but the worst choices to make all the time, but he commits to them, and it's like, yeah, I made that choice, and I'd make it again. It's I know what I'm doing, sort of thing. Instead of being a character like, let's say, a Lindsay, without spoiling anything, who would just be like, hey man, it was tough. The scenario is difficult. There's lots of things going on. I'm tempted by this, tempted by that. I don't know exactly what to do. Hey, leave me alone. Like, yeah, I'll work for you guys, or I'll do this. The sort of wishy-washy thing versus having principles. And yeah, we meet a new character just for this episode, Ford, who you could say is also the personification of this issue, which is that when presented, it's kind of like Inca Mummy Girl. You got some parallels there. But when you're in a position where your brain is actively melting, will you, if it costs the lives of several innocent people, save yourself? Will you press that button? It's kind of like a trolley problem sort of situation. And he makes the case that what's happening to him isn't fair, it's bullshit, and that this is his way out. And then he says he doesn't really have a choice. But he does. And it sucks, but you know what the right decision is, but a lot of people relinquish that. In fact, and this is not necessarily commenting on anyone in particular, but let's say you were stealing YouTube content. And then someone says, like, what are you doing? It's like, dude, it's the algorithm. I have no choice. Like, yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you have a choice, and you made your choice. Own it. Same with a lot of stuff.
Stealing is stealing, whether you rationalize it as a good thing or a bad thing. I do believe, MauLer, not a card-carrying Christian or anything like that. Think it's in the Ten Commandments. Pretty sure.
Yeah,
pretty sure it's a sin.
Might be.
Pretty sure. The judge told me it was. The judge told me it wasn't a good idea. I told him I'll take the L on this one, MauLer. I told the judge, I'll take the L on this one. He's like, yes, you will, son.
Yes, you will. And then you said, I didn't really have a choice, though.
I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. Life is full of choices. But what they pulled off in this episode and failed at some assembly required is Ford was a dick, but I kind of felt for him.
I think the actor does a really good job.
I felt enough for him, not to justify anything he did, but to make it work in the story, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I could see a teenage kid facing death, making a horrible choice. Absolutely horrible choice. And sacrificing other people to do it and manipulating out of this desperation, especially when they lay out that he's got months to live.
Yep.
And like you said, his brain is melting.
He describes the process. He says, what they'll put in the ground won't even look like me, which is another good line. This episode, it does ramp up a bit of like, okay, this season, it's like you go, it's mixed, right? It's why I've said, like, a lot of people pick season 2 as their favorite. I guess I get it, but at the same time, there's just too many bad episodes for me.
What's your favorite season again?
It's 6. It's not even a competition.
Oh, okay.
It's because of what it's about. When we get to 6, we're probably going to need 3.
No, I totally get it. I'm not sure what mine is.
There's a couple valid choices, I think. Like I said, I don't even have an issue with people choosing 2, but 3 and 5 are both very fair choices, I think.
I think I'd choose 5, but yeah, the only one that I would say is the worst is the 7th. So
it's weird, dude, because 1, 4, and 7. 1 is just like figuring itself out. 4 is this weird mixed bag. It has some of the worst episodes of the show in there randomly, but it also has some really good stuff. And then
has
7,
some of the best shows too. So like it's
7's they were losing it at 7. They still got good stuff in there, but man, there's just so many bad decisions. Probably ended at the right time,
It did. It didn't ruin the series at all. But
no.
Where Angel, like, it's all pretty good except for one season. Season
Yeah.
4.
What's funny is someone in chat just said last season's never the best. So Angel is the last season of Angel and Buffy, technically, and it is the clearest best as far as I'm concerned. It is fucking phenomenally
Out
well
of
done.
all of them, yeah, out of all of them.
It has like 4 of the best episodes of the entire show. And there's only like if I rank them as like a top shelf sort of thing, there's only like 8 in total anyway. It's a ridiculously high quality jump, especially after Angel season 4. Holy shit.
And the whole concept of Wolfram and Hart just rules.
Yeah.
It's
They do so much
good.
good shit with that. We'll get to that eventually.
yeah.
So Lie to Me is the episode, by the way, that has that scene with Drusilla and Angel. And she is shot so fucking creepy in the scene. She's preying on a little kid.
Yep, right in the beginning.
She's gonna eat him is probably the likelihood, but Angel stops her. But one of her lines, she's like sort of in her own head talking about weird shit. The kid's looking at her kind of weird, and then she says, "What do you think they'll say when they find your body?"
Yep.
It's such it like switches into it, and she does it so fucking well. And like I said, when watching this, I was like, "Oh man, would have been really cool if we had more of this Drusilla."
It would have. And when I first watched it, I thought the kid was dead. I didn't think they would come in but that's what this show does. Like it'll kill kids.
Yes,
they do it. So
the he says like, "I'm offering you and Spike a chance to leave," and she says, "Or you'll hurt me," and he like can't even look at her. And
yeah.
Again, this is all really good stuff for Angel, which we need all these pieces before we're gonna get really into his story, which is obviously more so for his show. But Amends in season 3 is going to be a major episode for that as well.
So and you're in these episodes, in the first 10 episodes of season 2, they start planting characters that pop up later that play pretty big roles in things. But so Ford knows Buffy is like they're talking in an alley, and then she hears something, and she knows it's a vampire, so she tells Ford, "Hey, go back and get my purse and run really fast. I need it." He kind of walks away, and then comes back, and then sees her fighting a vampire, and he lets her know, like, "Oh, I know you're the Slayer." And she's like, "What?" And it's kind of freeing for Buffy to hear that.
Yeah.
But
when she says to Giles that he knows that he's like, "You're not using your secret identity as a way to like charm boys or anything, are you?"
And yeah, so what we find out that Ford and his friend, one of them wearing a bow tie and fucking a cape and stuff, are basic. Oh, what was the group that they were called?
What group now?
The kids who were basically worshiping the vampires.
Oh, I know you're talking about. I just completely forgot because their dialogue is so perfectly cringy.
Right? Yeah, it's supposed to be cringy, but
yeah.
So yeah, it's a group of kids who want to become vampires, basically.
Worship them like people in real life worship, the Anne Rice novels, as they would put it, probably.
Exact fanboys and girls.
Yeah.
Yes. And that would totally exist. That would be a thing. 100%.
Sure, yeah.
Well, it is a thing. They were just missing vampires. There's a lot of people who would become vampires. And it's explained, like you're not you anymore. You're a demon. It's not you. So you're not really living. And their whole plan is to lure in the Slayer for Spike. So he makes a deal with Spike and offers her Buffy if he in turn becomes a vampire. The problem is, like, all his mates are not going to become vampires. And he doesn't care. He doesn't really
he's
care.
Sacrificing them.
And he's sacrificing them. So Buffy finds out. She's a little heartbroken. And he does the whole and when he's talking to Spike, and it's supposed to be cringe, he's like, "This is the part where you tell me I have 30 seconds to live."
Yeah.
Until, and he forces him to do it, and Spike's like, "Whatever." And Drusilla is the one who keeps him from killing Ford right away.
Yeah, because of the potential, presumably, she can see this is going to lead to Buffy, but not quite a victory, unfortunately. And, while they're doing this whole vampire worship and this alternative to if you had, let's say, cancer or some other disease, which being a vampire does, in this universe, prevent anything like that from killing you, they tell us about the history with Drusilla, and Buffy makes it clear, like, what in the worst sense of what a vampire does, which I think she says it sets up shop in your old house. It walks and talks like you, but it's not you.
Yep. Yes.
Which again, as the show goes on, we keep chipping away at what it is to be a vampire. It's the most important spine mechanic for the bad guys in this universe, and they will keep. I'm not going to say they keep changing it. They just keep refining to the point where you get a really good picture as you go on and on.
So like Buffy takes Ford out and they do some slaying, but Ford doesn't slay one and wants to get information, and eventually it leads to getting a book, right? A book that ends up in Spike's hands, which will lead to something else later on. And that book is stolen out of Giles' library. Buffy figures it out, so that's where she goes. She heads a little early to a place she was supposed to go, and it's a building that's locked, that will eventually lock from the inside. And
yeah, you can only open it from the outside. Yeah,
and it's and you can't. Basically, so it's a trap for Buffy. When the sun goes down, vampires are going to show up, turn everybody, and that's when Buffy's talking to Ford, and yeah, he tells her, "Yeah, I'm dying," and you could tell a little bit like when he's talking to her, he starts coughing. So you're like, "Oh, something's wrong with him." Okay,
yeah. And he goes on his righteous speech, which she has a righteous speech, and he thinks he's kind of got her on the whole.
He does.
I'm more screwed than anybody, so that's why I make this choice. Like the way he sees it is, anyone should be able to understand why I'm making this choice, which is true, but it is also true that he still made that choice, and that makes him a piece of shit. Like
you're just a dying piece of shit. That's all you are.
It's the Stannis thing, right? It's like both of these things are happening. One doesn't cancel out the other. It's
Yep. So Stannis got screwed over, but he also burned his hand and eventually his daughter.
And she says, "You don't have a good choice, but you have a choice, and you're opting for mass murder." And then he's like, "Do you think I have to justify myself to you?" It's like, well, you were trying up until you had no option left of how to sound like the good guy. Which is why, I think he's a very realistic, solid villain. There's lots of people like this who will do the bad thing, be like, "Yeah, I did it because this reason." Then you just push them a little further. You're like, "What? That's not a good enough reason."
Everybody else is doing it, MauLer.
Everybody else is doing it. Yeah,
everybody else is doing it.
So whatever, I can steal shit.
That's the game. Exactly. If you want to survive, that's what you got to do.
Hey man, it's the V for Vendetta. I can't remember if that's where it originally comes from, but our integrity sells for so little, but it's the only thing that can't be taken from us. I love that quote so much.
The only thing we can freely give up, or for a very low or high price. So after that little speech, Buffy's able to, and there's, his friends, and there's the blonde girl, right? And you feel sorry for her. She's so fucking dumb, right?
Yeah.
She thinks like we're going to ascend and all this, childish stuff, but you like really feel bad for the kids. You're like, oh man, they're so too stupid. They're going to die.
Well, Spike is funny, but when he moves into frame against her, where she's like, "I'll save you," and he just looks fucking scary.
Yeah.
The makeup is good in this moment with the lighting. She looks terrified, and then he just grabs her, rips the whatever she's wearing off to sort of easily bite her. Spike, this is the thing I was actually going to talk about. This is going to be his third defeat, Spike.
Yep.
You may not have noticed, a lot of times a villain can't survive this kind of track record because it's embarrassing. But man, James Marsden does such a fucking good job.
He sells it.
You can basically let it pass. It's like, so she got you on School Hard, she got you on Halloween, and now she's getting you here as well. It's like, you're kind of useless, but it never comes across that way because he plays it so fucking straight when he's the bad guy. And the defeat is always gives you a little bit of breadth for like he's not a complete moron. It's I actually really liked that Buffy's instinct was to go to Drusilla straight away.
Yes, that was okay. So she stopped Spike, as MauLer just mentioned there, by threatening to kill Drusilla, and Spike stops, obvious. So there is some caring there that requires a little bit of vampire love.
Yeah, and it feels more earned than just, oh, he slipped and fell over or something. It's like, okay, that mechanically I buy that. And they do eventually have to acknowledge that his plans are always foiled by Buffy because he loses. We're talking like fucking 17
like a lot
times.
like a lot. So Ford gets knocked out by Buffy, and he wakes up. Buffy, saves who she can, and then takes off and locks Drusilla and Spike in that room, in that whatever the hell it is. It's got metal walls. And Ford wakes up and goes, "What happened?" Yeah, well, Buffy got away, but I did deliver her to you. Like, you got to honor the deal. And it looks like Spike is just going to kill him, which he does.
Yeah,
which he does. But ultimately, the end part is really good. Where they're standing over the grave, right? What is it after that? Buffy's got to wait to go back and get the body,
and
they say the body, which makes you think of the body. Made me think of it a little bit. And then she's talking to Giles, and she's pretty bummed out about the whole situation, and talk about choices and things like that. MauLer.
Well, what can we learn from all of this? It's a bit tough, and it's basically just like this. This was grim. Someone who was in a horrible circumstance, thus caused a bunch of horrible things to happen to people. They didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve that fate. And what do we get from this? And then just Giles being like, she says, "Just lie to me." He's like, "The bad guys are always vanquished by the good guys. Everything is easy and chill."
She asked if tell me life, or she said something about like life. Tell me life gets easier as you're older. Just lie to me. And that's what he says. That he's all. Yeah, you can always identify the bad guys. They're always defeated. And she called him a liar. But a body comes up out of the grave, and she just kills it immediately.
It's Ford.
It's Ford.
That's his fate.
So Spike honored the deal.
Yeah,
Spike honored the fucking deal, which was, and maybe Spike knew that Buffy would get around to it or not, but I thought that was a nice touch.
Might be that he vamped him just to be like, maybe he'll get Buffy, whatever,
Yeah. But I thought that was a nice touch. I thought that was like, it's really fucking cool that they did that, and then he died immediately.
Yeah, which, funny enough, wraps us on 7 episodes out of 22,
Gosh,
which is about a third.
We said this might happen. Okay, fairness.
Well, what's funny is if we had the full 3 hours today, this would still be the case, because we would need to do 8, 9, 10, and then super chats, which I don't even know if we can do in under 45 minutes, ish.
Oh, no, we're gonna have to do super chats.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, even if we have full time.
Well, that's why we play it by ear, baby. Because we still have Dark Age and What's My Line Part 1 and 2, which are fucking good 2-parter. So good. With Kendra and her bad accent. That accent is terrible. But
yes, the Order of Taraka.
And the Order of Taraka, which is such a great concept, though. I like
hunters
it.
For sure. Yeah. But of course, we also have Spike's final defeat, or is it?
Yeah,
that's supposed to be his last episode in a way.
So, do you think this was the episode he was supposed to just die in? And they're like,
"What's my line? What's my line?" Was that?
Oh, really? Okay.
If you remember right, again, this is not spoilers. This was what we're talking about today. Drusilla gets fixed up. Spike gets burned down almost. You could kill him, bring in Drusilla, and then who's coming for the second half. So you've got all that working for you. But they just put Spike in a wheelchair. Also, I don't know where this comes from. It's like, Joss couldn't kill him. It's like, do you really think he couldn't have killed him? He obviously kept spiking because he was happy to have him in. He just didn't want anyone assuming he's invincible.
Yeah, I agree with that, because there is a certain part of planning, and while you were able to, in television like this, you were able to pivot somewhat.
Yeah,
not in this situation. It's not like these episodes were shot, so it's So
my assumption is, and I'm sure we could all read into more of this to find out the ultimate truth, but I just assumed they were filming it and they realized, like, this Spike guy is pretty fucking great. Maybe we can keep him a bit longer. There's no need to kill him. He's pretty funny. The act is pretty good. I don't know when the quote exactly was said. The whole, like, "You think I can't kill you?" Because he said he's always cited as like the horrible moment where, even though James Masters always recites it as a funny moment, not like a like a horrifying moment in his career or something. But on top of that, Joss Whedon's talked several times about how much he loves writing Spike's dialogue. And then he's the showrunner. Do you really think Spike manages to make it this much into the show without Whedon's
Whedon liking him? Come on.
I just don't buy it at all. Especially
nothing. Knowing Whedon, nothing makes it into the show unless he likes it.
Pretty much, yes. And the fact that this is before the audience even get to react to it, if you know what I mean, that he saved. My assumption is just they realized what they had.
Whedon's ego at his height matches what James Gunn's now. Yeah. Biggest difference. Whedon can back it up.
Yeah. when you're making shit that's this impactful, you can't. This is why it doesn't bother me as much when you find out it's like, wow, he wouldn't accept script notes from Gal Gadot. It's like, why the hell should I care about that?
Yeah, how was that even a thing? I thought that at the time. I'm like, who cares?
Who cares?
What has she done? Like, shut up, silly woman.
Just how annoying it would have been because of how much work he had done up to that point, and he's coming in on a stretched time limit to fix it, and then you have it being like, I should say this. It's like, yeah, no, actually, no.
What's funny is today, canceled by canceled culture, Roy Price, who was, the guy I've talked about before, who founded Amazon Prime, put out a tweet. It's like, is Joss Whedon still canceled? And if so, can we get some kind of list on who's canceled and who isn't anymore? And the fact of the matter is, I don't think Joss Whedon is canceled. I think if he came back, he could get some work. I do. I don't know if he wants to.
Yeah, I don't know what. It feels like there's another chapter to that story. Don't know what it is though, or when it'll happen.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think he went through the ringer and is just like, I've got enough money. I'm good.
It's the weirdest ratio of cancellation versus crime, if you know what I mean.
It really is. You can hate his politics all day long. I don't care, but people who have done far worse are still working. Yep. All right. So we got I Want to Be for $10. Thank you. Says caught the board again finale. I knew we couldn't get around that. So good. Looks like we're back, boys. Seriously, though. Why are you talking about Buffy? Punisher's coming out.
I thought that board again finale was fucking insanely awful. There's so much about it that's stupid. Just to be specific and as quick as I can. Hey, Mayor of New York, we will relinquish your citizenship and you can run off to some island to live out the rest of your days as long as you accept that deal now. No, I'm going to go kill a whole bunch of civilians in
about 45 of
everyone.
Them. Yep.
And then it's like, are you sure after doing all of that you won't take the deal? He's like, okay, I'll take the deal. I couldn't fucking believe I was watching.
And then they arrest Daredevil.
Yep.
Which makes it worse.
Oh, and as was mentioned in chat, it's supposed to they're doing Vader in Rogue One. That's what that is. That's what they're supposed. This is like, I hate this team. They just have to remember. They just got done copying Andor. Now they're copying Rogue One. It's like, you guys need to do something for yourselves. And they're like, we do. Remember, look, we made the Daredevil scenes red. We made the Bullseye ones blue. It's like, you guys, you got to climb out of your own ass right now. Like, this is ridiculous.
The courtroom scenes were laughable.
Insane.
Right?
Do you remember when the judge said, whether or not Matt is Daredevil, he has a point? It's like, wait a minute. So him revealing himself was fucking pointless.
It's pointless. That makes it not. If you're not sure, judge, that means it's not admissible. And listen, I am not a lawyer, but I've been in more courtrooms than most lawyers.
The second the defense lawyer presented himself as a surprise witness that's key to the case,
yes.
I was like, so this is a mistrial. And then the fucking prosecution were like, this is a circus. And she's like, it's been a circus for ages. It's like, what the? What?
Yeah, we had a lawyer in the chat earlier today. He's like, I had to stop watching. I couldn't do it. And then somebody else said, yeah, I'm a lawyer. And the She-Hulk stuff made more sense.
Oh,
but no, it was when Matt Murdock's like asked him a question about the weapons on the North Star.
Uh-huh.
And I was expecting you can't handle the truth moment.
Oh, they did all A Few Good Men. They did it.
But then he goes, You don't get to know what I do, little man. It's like, oh God. Oh
I
God.
honestly, man, like it's hard not to think about. It's like Vincent D'Onofrio. You're a legendary actor. You've been around for ages.
Yep.
Shouldn't you been able to tell these fucking children, like, guys, you can't just copy A Few Good Men badly.
No.
We just got done copying Andor badly. We shouldn't be then copying Rogue One bad. It's like you guys got to come up with something on your own.
Last thing on this, the deputy mayor who was there till the bitter end is going to end up being the mayor.
Yeah,
she should be in jail too. Like they should all be in jail.
So many women do not have to be held to account for their fucking actions in this show. It's ridiculous.
I certainly hope the Punisher show isn't him crying and missing his family. I hope it's he puts on the Punisher garb and then finds new and unique ways to punish bad guys. That's fun. That's what I hope it is.
See.
MauLer, if you go on your sub, the first pin is some fan art you need to see.
I've seen that. It's the put your boba with me. I've definitely seen that. I need to find a way to get that in something. Maybe I'll make it my avatar at some point.
Thank you, Coon, by the way.
But thank you, yeah.
Daredevil was shot limping, then kicked ass with a hurt leg. He got shot. Then JJ Powers were never truly on the fritz. Oh yeah, Jessica Jones. Bad writing.
Saying that he was shot and then he's like fine.
Yeah.
Dude, when Buck got shot by a sniper and bled out for a whole day, like, what the fuck?
He's dead. He's get shot in the gut, you are dead. That's sniper.
It. That shit would have blown his back out.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? And then it's like, oh, who shot him? Bullseye. How did Bullseye miss again?
How does, dude? Seriously. As managed to pronounce my name for $4.99. Proper British pounds. Need to figure out where I can watch Buffy. This sounds so much better than anything on TV today. Well, you can buy the box set. I don't know what it's going for now because I think it's kind of out of print, or maybe not.
Yeah, it's getting rarish.
It's getting rarish. They never remastered it for DVD or anything. It's on Hulu in the States. So where is it in your country?
Well, so you can watch it on Disney Plus. A lot of people will have it on that. But I mean, there are other ways to find this. Other ways, alternative ways that are other ways. You might drink some rum while getting to these ways.
You've got like used bookstores and CD stores over there in the UK. Lots of them actually.
Yeah.
There is arguably there is more Buffy merch going around in the UK than there is in the US now.
Well, I've told you, I'm still going to be trying to get my hands on a proper Smile Time reference, I'll say, instead of anything more deliberate than that. Like I said, because I think the further we go on here, the more people are going to be watching with the coverage. So I'm going to try my best not to spoil anything. And for the record, anyone listening right now is like, you know what? I will watch it. Season 1 and 2 can be tough. We ain't saying this is great TV or anything, okay?
They could be tough, but it's not as like Stargate is it's not rough, but it's not great. Babylon 5 takes a couple episodes to get going, but not much.
Everyone's different. What I would first recommend is watching the show without watching any of these streams of ours yet. But if you want to do them side by side, go for it. We'll do our best to avoid spoilers. The other thing would just be first 2 seasons. It's the characters. Just stick with them. They're the things that you want to.
Yeah. That's. Don't worry so much about plot.
Yeah.
This season was make or break it for me. I was about to give up on it, but Spike made me keep watching, and I ended up finally getting hooked there till season 4, which kind of lost me for some reason. Got to push through soon.
A lot of people feel that 4 is bumpy, but then you get 5 and 6. And if you start up Angel at that point, Fringy, I don't know have I told you about this? Like, so of all the people I showed Buffy, the most common place they got hooked was season 2, specifically Passion. A lot of people were like, holy shit. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, okay, I'm locked in now. This show's, which we will get to and probably spend a lot of time talking about because it's a fucking great episode. Some people took season 3 was where they got hooked because it's very consistently engaging and stuff. But Fringy, it wasn't until The Gift that Fringy was like,
what?
Well, For him, he had a lot right. He's got you gotta impress that man, okay? Especially because I had sold it to him for a few years at that point as my
Okay.
favorite thing. So obviously, watching up to that point, he was just like, I don't know, this is good. Yeah, some of it's great because obviously you know what episode you would have seen by then in season 5 that you would think would convince you. And yeah, when he saw the gift, he was like, all right, fine, this show's great. And I was like, yes, gotcha, finally. But to be fair, I think Angel helped. He loves the premise of Angel. Less enthused about the premise of Buffy, which is the same for a lot of people. Especially us sort of superhero enthusiasts on these sides of the internet. When you find out what Angel's premise is, you're automatically probably going to be like,
Well, and that's
whoa.
where they alluded to the male audience kind of bailing out after season 3, and that's probably because they went to Angel. Yeah.
I mean, Angel season 1 is really solid.
It is. It's
And when
a
you get to,
procedural solid show.
When you get to 5x5, that's just one of the best episodes in both shows at that point.
Oh, and it's so cohesive with the
It's excellent, dude.
Oh, the cohesion between Buffy and Angel is really damn good. Damn good. Angel to Buffy. Looks like you're pining for daddy. Thank
I
you.
guess that's a Odyssey reference, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just got that. Sorry. You were way ahead of me, chat, as usual. Thank you very much. Sage Divinity for $10 says, MauLer, your combos on EFAP are the reason why I watch Buffy and Angel. Thank you.
No problem. I hope you loved it.
Go.
I loved it. So I'm sure this is me and Gary's attempt at getting more people to watch it, I guess.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I don't think anybody from the show will ever thank us. And I don't need it.
Fine.
I don't need it.
Don't want it even.
Don't even want it. It's hard to believe that 2 people from the show, like young people, are dead.
Yeah.
Fucking drugs, man.
Mm-hmm.
STY Games or Sty Games for $2.79 Canadian says, Molly, can you Lord of Ring Gollum your PS4?
If they made a custom PS5 that was a Lord of Ring Gollum one and it had a big Gollum plastic face on it, I would buy that in a heartbeat. But I don't think they did, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have a PS5 one. That's what I'm looking at right there. But it's sealed. Yeah, I got the graded one.
I got one too.
You did?
Yeah, no, I think Mel does too. It's just buying a physical version of that retarded.
It's a trophy.
It is. It's so funny.
It's a trophy. It is so wonderful. I have it right in front of Galadriel because I have 2 Galadriels, right? So I have a Galadriel smoking a cigarette, and so I have it in front of Galadriel smoking a cigarette. It's a long story. Feanor Alpha Chad and Middle Earth Mixer will always try to ratio horrible tweets with either Galadriel smoking a cigarette. It's pretty funny.
Like between shots and stuff, is it?
Yeah.
Set photo. Yeah.
But I have an extra cigarette for my Constantine figure that I gave to Galadriel, so she's smoking on a heater right there. Spike is so good, and Buffy as the show is the best in high school, though some of the best eps are in the later seasons. Yeah, I like it. I liked it better in high school, and they definitely tried to mimic it a little bit later on with the whole college thing. It just doesn't work,
Yeah, when they hit season 3, the project is working perfectly. The formula, the episodic serialized balance, everything's going great. 4 is experimental. You could tell it's like we gotta move them, because they could have just said the school blew up. They built the school back, and we got to do the year again.
We got to do the year again. We got to repeat the year.
And it would have been like, But no, they moved them on. And to me, the show in eras goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like that's the lines between. 4's transitionary. It's weird. It's a weird season. But there's lots of stuff I love in season 4.
Do you think they should have done the Harry Potter thing though, and had her just be a freshman? Well, they couldn't if they're going to connect it to the movie. But
the thing is, the problem is you get Buffy and Willow in college, but then Giles obviously isn't, and Xander isn't either. So it's like we actually need the show to be fluid so it can move everywhere.
I read that one already. Hey Gary, I'm an archaeologist working at the University of Kyoto. Check out your business email if you like a special guide on your Asuka day trip. Oh, hell yeah. I know those stone tombs like the back of my hand. Hell yeah. Anna, thank you. I will check that out. Thank you for the 1,000 yen. That's coming up soon. A little nervous about the plane flight, MauLer, but can't wait till I get there. And there's Anna again for 500 yen. No worries if you've already got guides sorted out, of course. Don't have to take me up on it. I'd just be glad if my very niche field is at all useful. That's awesome. That's awesome. And one more. And thanks for your interest in Kofun era megaliths. Hell yeah, they're awesome. They're huge. They make no sense. My son turned 10, and I finally got him into Buffy and Angel. Now, if I could just get him in, stop saying Love and Thunder is his favorite MCU, he'll grow out of it. His troll game is strong. LOL. Wannabe for $10. There you go.
What do you think's the earliest you can get someone watching Buffy and Angel? Because funnily enough, they were rated 15 in UK, but I think you could start earlier than that.
13.
Yeah. I started at 8, so, you know.
Yeah, you're weird, but
I am weird.
Yeah, I was watching fucking Night Gallery when I was 7, so, which is a much more hardcore version of Twilight Zone.
I really was weird because a friend of mine was just asking about what I think of Pink Flamingos. And I was like, John Waters movies, generally not like my particular favorite. And they were like, oh, I don't even remember. When did you watch that? I was like, yeah, when I was a kid. Like, why the fuck did you watch? And I was like, well, because I had an era, I've told people about this, where there was the forbidden DVDs and VHSs, and I just worked my way through them. But lucky for my parents, I suppose, I didn't see these movies and get crippled mentally by them. I was instead like, that was weird. Anyway, moving on.
Dude, yeah, maybe your parents shouldn't have labeled all the DVDs forbidden.
Well,
okay,
it wasn't like it was just that my dad was a tall man, so he thought if I put him really high, the kids would never get them.
Oh yeah, see,
anticipate how tall I was, and I was willing to climb.
And you can climb and get a step ladder. I don't know. The mediocre
furniture.
The mediocre Joker for $5 says just finished season 5 and then rewatched Ahsoka video. Great writing in both. Love BA. Can't remember last time I was so rewarded for paying attention.
Yeah, so there's another thing that I would say Buffy and Angel is excellent at is continuity, which is obviously one of my favorite things ever. But there'll be something that happens, and it'll be like, "Do you remember in season 1?" And they're just like, "What the fuck do you mean remember in season 1?" And you're like, "Yeah, I know." And yeah, that video I got to gush a bit about an episode in season 5 where Buffy enters a coma in her head.
I remember. I watched it. You know what other show is unbelievably tight with its own canon and chronology, I guess? Venture Brothers. For a stupid, you would think it, well, you know, you enjoy Smiling Friends, so you get it. For a cartoon that's a parody, it actually has a real story with real continuity, with real it's funny as fuck, right? It's supposed to be funny. But it's got the chat will back me up. There's nobody who hates the Venture Brothers. Have you ever run across anybody who has seen the Venture Brothers who hates it? Chat. Nobody. They don't live. They are not alive. They are not real people. So it's got the tightest ever. And it took, they took years and years making it. So when you do eventually watch it, you'll thank me, MauLer. You'll fucking thank me.
I'm sure I will.
Getting through season 1 was a slog, says Buford T. Justice for 50. Thank you.
The one thing I don't anticipate with these sorts of recommendations is whenever I show a friend, I am watching it with them. So I'll try and give them pieces that makes it more interesting, right? So I'll be like, hey, did you notice this thing happened? It's like, that might play into something later. It was, oh, did you see this? Or did you notice that? Well, if you watch it on your own for the first time, and this would happen to me as well, you might be like, I don't know what I'm getting out of this. Why am I here? Sort of thing. And season 1 can be tough on that front. But I genuinely I end up saying, and I assume Gary's the same, it's just like, you're going to have to trust us on this one. We really do vouch for the later stuff. It really do consider it worth it.
Once you get to season 3, holy shit. It gets so good.
There's that. There's also just, as far as I'm concerned, the body, Once More with Feeling, Hole in the World, Smile Time, Not Fade Away, Hush. There's all these episodes where, as far as I'm concerned, it's like, you should probably just see them. Just generally speaking, they're so fucking good. Like, ridiculous. Like, to the point where it can justify watching seasons of TV, as far as I'm concerned.
Hush is like the Blink of Buffy. It's a video. The video. It's a show you can like. I can just show you this episode, and you'd be lost in some places, but you would get the premise enough to where I think it would hook you in.
You can definitely use it that way, but this is funny because there's a big reveal in that episode that means
there
nothing
is.
if you watch it out of context, just like, huh? But no, the opening, right? The little song, the tune, because they're like a fairy tale creature. It's really fucking creepy. The design is perfect. The scene where they get one of the students. I do love that episode.
I've got Sideshow. I told you Sideshow did 1/6 scale of all the Buffys. I have them all. I have my Hush 3-pack, everything. And it's one of the few things that I have in box. MauLer, everything, as you see, everything else is loose. I kept those in the box. Not that they're worth a ton. I just like them. How was everyone's weekend view for Tea Justice? It was really good.
How suitable that it's an orange super chat. I don't know what that color's for.
Oh, it's getting out of control. It's getting out of control. I love what you said earlier. I absolutely love it because it echoes what my sponsor, my first sponsor, told me over and over again, and it annoyed the fuck out of me, but it's true because there's a lot of AA sayings. It's like, of course, of course, you take one day at a time. Actually, if you think about it, though, it's way deeper than just that little phrase.
1 second at a time.
Yeah. There's something really to that, but my sponsor would always go, when I'd ask him a question about stuff, he'd just go, life is full of choices.
Yeah.
Like, and
I know
the point of it is I'm supposed to think about it, right? So, but I'm like, you son of a bitch.
There is a surprising amount of conventional wisdom and advice that only functions in a way that you have to experience the value of that statement, if you know what I mean. So
yes,
someone telling you, like, do unto others as they do unto you, or something, you're like, yeah. But it's only when certain scenarios happen that you have the revelation of like, wow, yeah, I really wouldn't want someone to do this to me. I get it now. Like, or obviously that's a kind of a bad example, but on that front, the every choice you make, and it's like, yeah, I know, but then realizing it in a different context or for different reasons, it's there's so many ways to learn lessons, and sometimes someone telling you the lesson they learned doesn't work. You have to learn it the hard way, if you know what I mean.
You have to, and that's exactly what my sponsor was saying. He's like, it was either premised in, you shouldn't be asking me this question. You know the answer. So I'm not gonna, you need to figure it out, big boy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fucking frustrating, but he was right. Liberty Gibbet for $19.99. You guys were talking about it last stream, but the moment that finally hooked me into the show was the final scene between Giles and Buffy in the cemetery. It finally cracked my heart. It was a chore for me before then. There you go. There's always a moment for a show.
Yeah. It is hard to conceptualize when people get hooked. Typically, there's just so many different points, like I said. But one that came up for, I think it was the first guy I ever showed the show. It was when in the finale for this season, if you remember, Buffy's kind of at a low point. There's no options left. What's she gonna do? How should be Angel? And Spike turns up, and he's like, "Hello, cutie." And you're like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And he explains, and I some of my favorite logic ever, where he's just like, he wants to destroy the world. It's like, don't you want to? He's like, I like the world.
Yeah.
I'm in it. I'm having fun in it. I don't want it destroyed.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. And the shit with Spike and Joyce. When all that happened, the guy was like, this show's fucking good, man. I was like, yeah, I know.
Yep. The final scene in Lie to Me. Sorry, I forgot which episode early on in season 2. I remember, and that's the one we just finished talking about.
Lie to Me is a good one. For sure.
Good one. Idioticin. Thank you, MauLer. $4.99. Yeah. Why didn't you tell me season 1, episode 1 had a Chris Ray Gun reference when Buffy storms in the library to tell Giles how much she doesn't care about slang?
Even I'm not 100% sure of that reference.
I'm not
give
either.
It a thumbs up.
There you go. Bought season 1 on YouTube because there's no way I'm getting through 12 seasons without watch Buffy button on my phone. Good news. It's not the HD version. There you go.
Good. Excellent, even.
Even better. You were my sire, man. You were my Yoda.
They do. This season kicks
Or
off
broad.
with, I think, a Star Wars reference, Planet
Yes,
of the
it does.
Apes, and I want to say Terminator, maybe. And then, yeah, the "You are my Yoda" is such a. Spike has loads of pop culture references in this show. Very amusing to think that this vampire is watching a lot of TV, which you see him do.
Not smart James Moore for $5 says Techno Pagan is the funniest thing to me. It's so dumb. It comes around to being hilarious. I love it so much.
Techno Pagan.
It is very 90s. It is
Yeah.
very 90s. What is red and blue and looks good on hippies? Fire. Oh boy, Callan Blackwell. Why must Ben Edlund get screwed over so often when it comes to his creation of the Tick? Can't believe they canceled the Amazon show for The Boys. Yeah, dude.
Really enjoyed that 2 seasons.
I did too. And hey, somebody from The Tick is in The Boys, or was. Firecracker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not in The Boys anymore, though.
No, she's not. She got killed by the left wing, MauLer.
Which I saw them trying to cope with that and be like, well, no, but it was his right arm that did it. The right wing of Homelander did it.
Yep.
It was like, what are you, what?
Drunken Dutch Boy for $19.99. CVH's video annoyed me. He slammed Xander for not being punished for his actions in an episode like Bewitched, but doesn't say anything about how the Scoobies don't really punish Buffy for how she acts in the first episode.
There's a lot of characters that somewhat get away with a lot of bad acts. We're gonna have to highlight them as we go along. But no, his video on Xander is terrible, but it's a really good video for understanding how the Buffy fandom as a whole tend to treat Xander. I think he's a very multi-layered character. There's super interesting flaws going on with him. He's also representative of a lot of teenage boys, and a lot of people don't like the fact that teenage boys make a lot of references to sex. It happens a lot. It shouldn't probably mean that you should be fucking killed. And then the thing that just doesn't get appreciated because it's seen as a given is the amount of times he puts his life on the line to save people. They're like, well, it's a superhero show. It's whatever. It's like, no, that's got to count if you're going to count everything else. No,
he has no powers. And, he's supposed to come off as the coward, and he's usually not most of the time. And and that's to his friends too. And he gets harsh on Buffy a lot.
Yeah.
STY Games, women for $2.79. Women. Uziel Nap for $50. Just started Buffy, so I won't stick around, but here is something. Gary, just finished listening to your interview. Took 3 days, but worth it. With the basement. Thanks. I don't really read books, but consider this as me buying it. Keep up the good work and see you someday. Thank you, Uzi. Thank you, buddy. And I'm glad you listened to it. Thank you. It was it was fun going there. Going to Vegas, hanging out with AJ. MauLer, because of EFAP, it inspired me to do my own long live film breakdowns for Jewish movies for the Jewish nerd audience. Loving every minute of it, and hopefully I'll get it to where you guys are. Well, have fun. That's the most important part. But hell yeah.
Good shit, man.
Hell yeah. My favorite Ethan Rain moment is when he is doing his villainous monologue in the crypt and Giles interrupts him in season 4. Yeah.
He's like, oh, I don't think that at all, or something like that. And then the door opens and Giles goes, is someone there? And he goes, oh, damn it, I thought you'd gone. It's so fucking funny.
Drunken Dutch Boy, thank you for the $4.99. We appreciate it. You guys should do this with Supernatural season 1 through 5 someday.
Maybe Gary was someone. I'm not that passionate about it. We went over it on the last Real BBC. I was sold on that as like, if you liked Buffy and Angel, you'll love Supernatural. And I was like, where are my characters? I need more character. Those two are mostly static, and it just certainly across 5 seasons, I was expecting a little bit more. A lot of the supporting cast that I really like are barely in it. And it's very, very episodic, which is funny because you'd be like, isn't Buffy episodic? Yeah. Like, Buffy's my favorite version of TV shows where it's episodic with sprinkles of serialization.
Yeah. Supernatural is not. I like it, but it's not in the same universe. I'd say, you know what? Because it was inspired by Buffy, like early RTD Doctor Who and the first, up until the 50th Doctor Who. I would definitely do this for.
Like you should probably do that with Az though, if anybody, right?
Yeah, or you, whatever. D-Day is under attack for $20. Oh no, what's he under attack for now? What did the day Cobra?
What isn't he under attack for?
What is? Yeah, it's probably his. Probably from Ryan. I mean, that would be my guess, and it probably deserved it. It's time to release the Super Cats. It says STY Games, $2.79 Canadian. Thank you, Ben Jensen for $4.99. So excited to see you lads talking about these shows. It has to rank each season. If you had to rank each season of Angel in one word, good, bad, great, etc., what would they be?
4 is probably bad.
Bad.
5 is great.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd say 1 is great. But then if I say that, then 2 and 3 are probably great too. I love 1, 2, 3. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, I would say
maybe high end of good or something instead of great.
Yeah, like really good. Really good, yeah. Really good, really good, bad, great.
Yeah.
I'm a massive for Spike. Making friends watch the show currently too. There you go. Lady Volts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Final Super Cat is Mo, says STY Games.
I think he means moi.
Moi. Sorry. I'm dumb. I use Buffy season 2 as lessons for my daughter. Don't do the deed with your high school boyfriend or he'll turn evil and off your favorite teacher. I mean, yeah.
It is like we joke, but like it is kind of part of the point, right? Just be careful with underage hookups and stuff. That's part of what season 2 is about. It's the sexuality side of growing up. They take it to a different degree though.
They
like,
do.
It becomes a little bit of a psychopathic serial killer. Yeah.
Matthew Hammond for $5. The last 5 to 6 episodes of Stargate season 1 get good. Even the clip show that introduces antagonist Senator Kinsey, played by Ronnie Cox. Ronnie Cox is awesome. Is not terrible. Love Ronnie Cox. Didn't care for Buffy until I saw the Willow attire while I was flipping channels at 6 or 7. You activated a core memory for me, MauLer.
Yeah, I mean,
your uncle.
A lot of people we mentioned would pick Willow as their favorite for many different reasons.
Yes. Have supper, Will Cat, says STY Games. I already ate. Sorry, in my opinion, deep cut. The meme is Ray Gunn's whole personality in not caring about stuff he clearly cares about. Okay. Namely politics, gotcha. Also the S Squad game.
I just, when you even said the name, like Chris Ray Gunn, I was like, man, we're talking like 10 years ago. Is he still around?
Is he?
I assume he is. I don't know. I just remember he's like skeptic era type fella, I think.
Yeah. Chris Ray Gunn.
All I remember him for is he's kind of like the political version of saying whatever everyone's agreed on already. He doesn't really say anything that surprises anybody. For his team, so to speak.
If I go to Chris Ray Gunn, it's been a year.
Didn't he wasn't he and like Lacey Green ended up together or something? I remember her from the olden days. This is the equivalent of season 1 of the internet, okay, or something like that. It's hard to remember these references, okay?
It is Luigi Gate, Into the Luigi verse. Ray Gunn recap 1 year ago.
And all right.
And last live stream was 2 years ago. Talking about Starfield. Wonder what he's doing.
He probably agreed with Az on stuff.
He probably did. He probably did.
Definitely.
I'm sure he did. I have no idea. It's Super Cat, not Soup. Oh, it's Supper Cat, not Super Cat. Oh my God.
You got it.
Moi. Thank you, STY Games, for $2.79. All right. That wraps it up. MauLer.
Uh-huh.
What do you got coming up?
What have I got coming up? Oh yeah, this is our break week from EFAP finally, because we were supposed to take one earlier, but finally got there. But we'll pop out something. I think it's gonna be me and Metal playing Battlefront original, the supercut for that, because Joe Danger's got that all sorted. And then the day after that is my short film. It's coming out. It's gonna drop at around 7 p.m. British time. It's quite literally a short film, guys. I'm apologizing for this ahead of time, because I know all the top comments are gonna be like, what did they do to him? Didn't give him a long movie.
How long is it?
It's about 18 minutes, I think.
That's a long 18 minutes, though. We'll just say they're long.
Yeah, they're really long, 18 minutes. So don't you worry about it. The longest minutes you've ever minuted. So that's what you got coming up. As well as, in theory, more Buffy streams when me and Gary can pull it off.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just released my Obi-Wan Kenobi supercut. Or Supper Cat, if you want to say it.
So that I saw that, and it was like 20-something minutes, and I was like, wait a minute.
Well,
how does it work?
So that I did 3 separate reviews. It was 30 minutes, MauLer, and they were each like 10 minutes long. I just kept them short.
Oh, I was expecting it like you'd done one per episode, and you're gonna stitch them all together, and it would be.
I did. I stitched 3 separate reviews because what I don't really like doing each episode is tough, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I usually do 3. Like I do beginning, middle, end. So that's what I did.
Yeah. Well, go check it out, people.
Yeah. It's not like like Rings of Power, I will do, or I'm going to have to make a choice. I'll probably do each episode of Harry Potter.
You don't have a good choice, but you have a choice.
I don't have a good choice, but I have a choice, MauLer. I have a choice. What is Darth Vader's 3rd favorite slur? Schlurpo.
I mean, 3rd favorite. He loves them all equally.
Yeah. Schlurpo. Yeah, so I released that supercut. We got Friday Night Tights with Platoon.
Oh yeah.
With
Platoon. He's gonna talk with about Daredevil with you guys, huh?
Oh god, yeah. Can't wait.
Such a good show. What a great show.
Oh yeah.
And the boys. Oh, we're just spoiled for fucking TV right now. Hey, this is the perfect time to be talking about Buffy. It helps.
Yeah, and I got accused of just not liking it for clicks, like I secretly like the show or something. It's like, I genuinely don't like it. Sorry to report.
I was feel bad for people who love it. I'm like, really, man, you must be in a bad place. Like, I guess because this shit is so awful. But all right, fair enough.
I was laughing when Karen Page beat the shit out of a fully armored cop. I was laughing so much.
You know what about it as well? It's not even about the mechanics for me. It's so obviously the show being like, how fucking awesome is she that she's punching some dude?
Yeah.
Like the way it's framed and edited, I was just like, okay, show. You pat them on the back, like, okay, all right.
And the sound effect of her elbow hitting the face was like, it's like, no, come on.
Yeah, they had no idea what they were doing with Karen for this season.
No.
Same for Jessica Jones. I would say the same for Kingpin, but man, it's just been the Kingpin show.
Mm-hmm.
Still
It made no sense. It made no sense. But thanks to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat donation. You help keep the lights on. We will see you next time. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Oh, we got